Good morning, beautiful people. It is Friday, the 10th of January, 2025. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. Of course, every blessed day we're hosted by the very best. Brent, how are you doing today, man?
Blessed and highly favored. Thank you very much. And yourself?
I'm all right, but I'm very, very, very cold.
Yeah, you seem to shut down every time there's a little bit of breeze.
This is not a little bit. There's ice. There's ice outside. Ice and snow, and it's just cold. It's minus 3 degrees or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You leave water outside there, it will turn to ice. That's diabolical, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm an African man, you know, but I need the heat. Which, by the way, guys, we in fact, before we get onto that, like and subscribe to the video, to the channel, pardon me. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers. Like and subscribe, comment and all that good stuff.
I think the phrasing is we're on the road to 6,000.
There we go.
Yeah, that's the YouTuber thing.
We're on the road to 6,000
Come on.
subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Let's reach that milestone, people.
Come on.
Yeah, we're briefly talking about, you know, hell and all that and heaven and that, basically. And you said something along the lines of, what if basically the conditions of hell is allegory?
And then I said that's what your people say.
Who's my people?
The people who question whether the Bible is as it says it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is what I want to ask you now. Do you feel like hell could be, within reason, by the way, kind of what the worst thing is for that particular person? I.e., someone like me, yeah? Well, not me, God forbid, I ain't going there. But like, who hates the cold, that would be worse for me than heat. So, could it be for that individual, they experience the worst like that, right? And for somebody else, maybe a European, for example, who is okay in the cold, it will be the heat. You know what I'm saying?
As in when you go into hell?
Yes. So when you're hell
saying
now.
It wouldn't be a thermostat type thing because you're saying whatever you dislike to the extreme is what you're going to be, what your environment's going to be.
Precisely.
So for some people, it might be all these spiders around them all the time.
Yeah. Plus the climate, though. You need to have the climate.
So you're
too.
just talking about the weather.
No, in this particular thing, back and forth, it's the weather. But add that too.
Well, what's going to punish me? I don't mind either.
Yeah, but then you might get both, innit? Swings and it just swings.
I don't mind that.
Plus, you ain't going to be there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, but to entertain this conversation, I need to be there too.
We can't see you don't mind what, though?
When I say I need to be there, I don't need to be in hell. God, I didn't mean that. You knew my hat. But there are going to be people like me who hot and cold is not going to be an issue. So the extreme of it each is not going to be punishment.
All right, well, then they'll just give you the extreme of one. Whichever one. Because any extreme is bad. You can't handle the extreme of it. But I'm just saying, for someone like me, the extreme of cold would be worse than the extreme of hot. For me. I can't do it, man.
Well, the fact that it is that you're like melting inside, not because of the heat, because of the cold, that you're breaking down so much with this little small cold. I can imagine like extreme of this.
Yeah, I'm done.
What would you do?
This is why I think I said this on the show before. If someone gave me like $1 billion or $1 million to go to Antarctica, stay there and all that, I ain't doing it.
When you say stay there,
just stay there for a considerable amount of time.
give me a time because you're not saying no to $1 billion. You
But
do realize
I won't get to spend it.
You don't have to be cold when you go there. You make preparations.
No, you can't do
wear
it over
certain
there.
things. Of course you can, and you could even stay in your bloody construction that you build for yourself.
Do you know how cold it is in places like Canada right now? Well, not even right now.
I know because I spoke to your brother and he told me.
It's minus 20 over there. Just
And
regularly.
is he not there? Has he not survived? Is he still not there?
Still.
So $1 billion, you're to another $1 billion.
No, but that's a
Make
struggle.
it make sense for me.
Antarctica's not like Canada. So basically, times 2, for example, yeah. Could be like minus 50.
Brother, you know
know
what's weird for me?
You'll be done at it.
I watched a video, the flat earther video that just is going crazy around the internet for the last month, maybe, right?
Jeez, I need to see that then.
I think I mentioned it here that a group of them went down there. They were sponsored, right? Some guy said, "Hey, do you realize there's a 24-hour sun over there?"
Oh, that video.
Yes,
Okay,
that video.
yeah.
It still causes trouble. It still causes trouble for them. And I've seen a bunch of varied melanated people, Emmanuel, right? Bare face, naked face, right? Some of them, they don't even have their gloves on. And they're just chilling there. They're just chilling. It's not as beastly cold during the times in which you were filming than when it's quote unquote night, right? It fluctuates. But that's when it is you're supposed to go and find warmth in the constructions that you build.
But are they like Eskimos and that? Because if you're African, yeah, you ain't got no Neanderthal DNA in it. I ain't got none. So nothing activates for me. I'm one of the African.
You have every single.
I promise you I haven't.
DNA.
I promise you I haven't. Nope.
Possibility needed to survive in any environment. This is what you've been telling us. Everything came from us. So when you say you don't have it, what do you mean?
I was one of the Africans who stayed put. So some of us went into Europe, you know what I'm saying? Went into Asia and all that sort of stuff, innit? And then with the climate changes and whatnot, bear them died, innit? Obviously. But bear them changed, innit? You had to change and adapt. I don't have the time and the patience to change and adapt. I stayed put in Africa, you know what I'm saying? The cradle of civilization. And stayed in the comforts of God's divine environment. You know what I'm saying? Hence me not having no Neanderthal DNA. Like Africans are the only people on the planet that don't have Neanderthal DNA in their system. So when we're here in Europe or in the cold environments of the world, we struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, especially if you've got one of those blood types as well that is like super anti against the ice. You know what I'm saying? Not for it, man. It's just a struggle. It's just.
I don't think you're turning $1 billion to stay a few months in Antarctica, brother.
All right, you know what? To be fair, $1 billion's a lot.
You could do a lot with that money.
No, yeah, because I'll have to give it away, innit? Because I won't survive. I know I ain't gonna make it back.
You're such a weak man. You're such a weak black man. It's weakness I'm hearing from your lips right now.
This is how we go into this conversation.
Your trembling lips.
This is how we go into the conversation. God can't survive in hell. That's why he ain't there.
This is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So why am I going to hell?
God could go any way he wants.
There's a reason why he don't.
He could exist any way he wants.
There's a reason why he don't.
But he created it.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if what you're saying is correct, because Jesus did basically go to hell to free his saints.
That's different though. You know what I'm saying? He had to. There was a job to be done there.
You just said, in fact, let me not look to push back on anything you say, because people will come for me. I'll just let you
more
talk
people on your
you
side than me.
What?
More people on your side than me.
For different reasons. not because they understand everything I'm saying. I'm not confused by what I'm saying. But I want them to learn their lesson, right? The ones who are still telling me that I shouldn't be getting on to you, or you're speaking clear sense, daylight and night is so stark, I'm going to leave them until it is they're begging for explanation, and you're like, you're critical thinking, you like it. You like it. So I'm not going to push back on anything you say or any sort of contradiction that you make. Your life is going to be...
I don't make no contradictions.
Your life is going to be unburdened going forward.
Oh, man.
So you had a question to ask me?
Huh?
You had a question to ask me?
Yeah. So basically, obviously, when I came to the studio, people, I was listening to a clip of Stephen A. giving his take, trigger warning, guys, on the whole situation, the fiasco with let me not say fiasco, it sounds a bit insensitive, but the entire lawsuit with Miss Faraji and the allegations basically surrounding Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, but he was more so focusing on his friend Skip Bayless, innit? Right? And basically saying, oh, I remember just a few weeks ago when I was talking about my friendship with Jay-Z. Been friends with him for 25 years. And when I said that I'd been friends with him for 25 years and I've never seen anything untoward that would make me believe that the allegations surrounding him and that young girl is true, people came for him. So he was basically saying, I'm not going to, I don't know, what's the word? Tread around, you know what I mean? Like, all on tippy toes and whatnot. But I am going to say something similar in the sense that I know Skip Bayless. This is a cheap man. This is not a man that...
A cheap man?
Yeah. This is a man that he was struggling to give you $50, right? So I don't see him giving anyone or offering anyone $1.5 million to sleep with them. I'm not saying Miss Faraji's lying or whatever. So basically, he went there and said, I don't want to be irresponsible and say X, Y, and Z in the presence of this lawsuit going on. But X, Y, and Z. So it just made me think. I know on the show before we've spoken about how sometimes you can't really vouch for certain people. But do you feel like, would you be offended if, for example, there was a heinous crime that was alleged that you committed and people, your friends, said, listen, I ain't going to say nothing. I can't vouch for Brent, or just chose to be silent in the open?
No, I wouldn't be upset with him.
You just understand?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool.
You wouldn't. You would want me to shout from the rooftops.
No, at all.
This man is innocent.
No,
I know this man. He wouldn't pay money for such and such.
No.
You've been on here saying you're the most secretive mother effer around.
That is true.
So why would I basically look to put my...
No, but it's not because of that. It's because of what people are capable of. You know what I'm saying? Someone can be not even secretive, private. I'm not secretive. But I'm private. But there's certain things that you just feel like certain people are just not capable of. So you remember that situation? I don't know why this even came to my head. But that situation of what's that show? 70s show. Remember 70s show?
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher, the woman that he's with, and the guy that got yeah. And they obviously wrote letters saying, listen, they were friends, and obviously the world came for them, innit? Like, granted, obviously in that situation they're wrong because he got convicted, he's in prison.
I don't know whether their motivation to write letters was because they were complicit in something, and he was like, if you don't look to vouch for me, I'm gonna basically pull you down with me. I don't know if that could be the case.
That's bad.
Yeah. So I don't know if it is that example is apt.
Okay, cool. But let me apologize to my religious folk in the chat. They're saying I'm blaspheming, man, or was blaspheming.
You mean with the whole God thing?
Yeah.
You don't care about them anyway.
What? That's not nice. Of course I do.
No, you've said far more blasphemous stuff.
On the show?
Yeah.
I don't blaspheme, do I?
Well, the fact that the fact that they shouldn't really be getting up in a tizzy because you don't really believe in what they believe. You don't subscribe to the doctrine that they subscribe to. So they shouldn't really be vexed with you saying anything about God.
To be fair...
Because you even say, what God?
To be fair, it's not like everybody in the chat has one belief system anyway. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's got bare different belief systems. There's Christians, there's Muslims in there. I'm pretty sure your favorite Jews in there. So we got an amazing array of different belief systems. I love it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Freedom of religion and that. So yeah, apologies for those guys who didn't see my joke as healthy.
So you see being secretive as different as being private, right? And I think I understand there is a distinction between the two. However, you've used examples of you keeping secrets, and you gave us two options as to which option do you want. Yeah. So it's hard for
that is true.
You to then say no. It's not me being secretive in this moment.
No, and you're 100% true. But yeah, that's true. I value what somebody tells me and wants me to keep over people's opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you tell me to something, I don't give a damn what somebody thinks of me. As long as I keep what you're saying to myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about people's opinion like that.
So back to your question about you getting angry if your best friends...
I said I would be. Not at all. I also would be understanding of it, because at the end of the day, I do understand that everybody's kind of got their own responsibilities, their own commitments and stuff like this. As long as I believe, like face to face in our in our personal interactions, I'm not the animal they accuse me of, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
There's certain things I'll be like, no way. If someone says they caught you with your willy in an exhaust pipe, I'll be like, no way.
But
if they say they caught you with
people...
a willy in a pig, I'll be like, no way. He don't like talk like that.
No, but what?
If they say
We don't need to do ifs
they-
about wife.
I know it just came to my mind because I'm like,
Well, keep it in there.
yeah, I wanted to know. Wait a minute, no, saying it so. But if they say anything to do with women, I wouldn't outrightly believe anything, but I would believe that women were involved.
Interesting.
That did not belong to you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something.
Because I know you used to be a player.
All right,
You used to have. Yo,
all right,
wait,
firstly, yeah.
You probably you up in the gates.
Firstly, yeah. I don't know why
My
you
head
laugh
is
at this.
dizzy.
It should be
I'm
dizzy.
laughing too much.
Yeah, very much.
Oh man, I'll dial it down.
Firstly, that's not true.
What are you saying? You didn't know how to talk to women?
What the hell has that got to do with being what? Again, firstly, that is entirely not true.
What, that you didn't know how to talk to women?
No, not talking to women.
So you didn't know how to talk to women?
Just like a normal guy could.
Like a normal guy?
Like a normal guy.
You weren't a normal guy, bro.
No.
You were getting calibers.
Don't listen.
Why did you bring me here? Why did
I didn't bring you anywhere. I turned up. Firstly, yeah. 100% gyms, right? 100%.
The thing is,
No,
it's
but
so
wait,
funny.
wait.
I say a lot of stuff in it,
Yes.
and people will have to decipher what I'm telling truth about
Yes.
and what I'm not. And the thing is, it will be people who know of you, maybe
Yeah.
your younger brother. I know sometimes he leaves a message there. That's why I'm very respectful sometimes when I talk to you, because I don't want him to feel as though I just talk to you anyhow. Do you understand? And I know that's not the only reason as to why I respectfully talk to you. Why I should, but some of them would know that, hey, there's some truth in what it is Brent is saying, and that's why I do what I do. I mix it up, man.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a good thing, yeah, that I don't care too much about people's opinions like this, isn't it?
I don't know if that's true.
It is.
I
But
can
it
continue.
depends on what it is.
Until you look into
No,
to
but
deny every single lie or truth that I utter, because you care about who's listening.
Yeah. Within a particular context.
100%.
Because context is key.
Always.
And you're thinking long term about certain things. You know what I'm saying? But for the record, you're definitely lying about the other stuff.
About what stuff?
About what you just said. But we
What
don't
lie
need to
about?
go into it again.
I don't need to go into it
the
again?
The more we entertain
Interesting.
it, the more people might think it's even true.
Right.
But
Okay.
anyone who knows me, have met me, knows that's not my story.
Yeah.
innit?
Sure. So basically,
But-
back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't vouch for you at all, but I would look to be like, hey, Steven, it has to do with a girl. He was with the girl, but I don't know if it is that happened.
No.
But I'm not going online to be saying, hey, I don't think that happened.
That is insane. I'm hearing you say this here. But that's insane.
Of course it's insane. Is it insane for me not to vouch for you? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's insane that you think because it involves a girl or if it involves this or whatever it may be, I don't even know. You're
To be honest,
entertaining ideas.
It's even funny.
And we're talking about
if
it,
I
and
see
people
what
might-
she looks like, I'd be like, he might know with her.
What?
Yeah, because you have a type.
Firstly, these are very expensive jokes, right?
Wait.
100%.
Wait, to be honest, let me stop laughing because I don't want everybody to think I'm just joking, right?
No, you are joking.
I can still lie and be like somber.
Yes. Yeah,
Do you understand?
But people may not know that you are.
All right, so
this is going to territory where people might think.
let's just see where you feel I'm taking too far.
No, you've
I've
already
just
gone too
said-
far.
All right, hold on. Just let's start.
And I'll tell you why.
Let's start anew.
I'll tell you
I
why.
said you have a type, and you said this is incredibly. This is libelous. This is a lie.
No, it's not about the type thing.
No, that's what I started with. You have a type.
That's not what you started with.
So
We've
I said,
had 5
if
minutes
I
of
see the woman,
scandalous behavior.
If I see the woman, bear in mind, I'm not running to what she's accusing you of. I'm just see. If I just see the woman, and Steve and I will look at each other. He's like, yeah, so that's his type. That's his type. So let me take a while to hear what
That is
hear what
insane.
she says, right? Because if I specifically, Emmanuel, if me, Brent, specifically has a type, and this woman comes out of nowhere and says she knows me, you be like, hey, Brent, that's your type.
No, I wouldn't.
No. If it's a redhead with freckles, for example, right?
Yeah.
And this redhead with freckles comes up from nowhere and says, I know Brent. And Brent and I did something, and I'm going to tell everybody on January the 24th, right? In your mind, you're like, that's Brent's type. In your mind, 100%, you'd be like, that's Brent's type.
all right, cool.
Brent probably knew this woman. But in what capacity? I don't know yet.
You see, let me say something. Yeah. This is why these conversations are so dangerous.
You brought this into the
really
the
didn't.
ring
I really
arena.
didn't.
And there's
I
nobody
really
here to basically offset anything I'm saying.
Yeah, but this is why it's insane. This is insane.
All right, tell us what's insane, because if you
Everything you said. Firstly,
that's not
Firstly,
fair, man.
Firstly, yeah, it's a purely entertainment, guys.
Yeah,
Secondly,
everything is entertainment.
no, of course it is. But secondly, yeah, I can't listen to somebody have a crazy allegation against you or anyone I know, and me think, oh yeah, because she's attractive, or she's a type that this person would move to, or she's a type that she likes this type of man, I'm gonna think, there's something here.
Be specific,
insane.
because I caveated that. I said the whatever claim she makes against you,
Yeah.
I would have to weigh that differently, right? Because it might come and say, he was with me and he asked me to get a pig and then loop its anus. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on what it is, what claim she makes. Then I'll be like, nah, that didn't happen. It couldn't have happened. Man, I don't like pork like that. But
This is insane.
But just the first viewing of this woman, I'll be like, okay, that's specifically the type of woman that he really adores, and I know it because of his past dances, right?
No,
his
just
past
because-
dalliances. This is what I would say. But to the claims, my friend, that's a different thing. I'll weigh that differently. I'm just being honest, man.
That's diabolical. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't what?
I wouldn't start weighing it up and thinking this, that, and the third.
Wait, what do you think I just said?
I heard you. So, mate, I, because my thing is this: if I heard allegations about something that's untoward, nothing's gonna make me think about somebody I know. Nothing's gonna make me think, oh yeah, this is true. Or
I didn't. I thought it was clear with what I just said.
No, because because basically you have to entertain the idea
that you were with her.
Yes.
If it, and I made an extreme example so that it's even easier for you to say, I understand what you're saying. I made even extreme. Red hair and freckles, right?
Okay.
And you've only dated red hair and freckles, right? And this red hair and freckle girl come out of nowhere.
You see, this is why it's important to be private. Because now, when things start popping off now, don't be surprised if you get CVs and women trying to get jobs who have got red hair and freckles. Because they want to come and... Because you're giving information to people that... Listen to what I'm saying to you. I've studied history. Black men's history, right? This is what happens. Because people talk reckless. And in 5 years' time, 10 years' time,
all right,
you're going to find yourself in some
go back
nonsense
to your
for no
Stephen
damn
A.
reason.
thing, because that's where you started. Go back to Stephen A. thing.
All right, cool.
I've distorted everything. Go
Completely.
back to Stephen A. thing.
But all it was, would you feel some type of way if, for example, people that you knew and people that, like, they know you, like, just stayed silent on something when I guess the whole world is basically accusing you of allegations that are completely untrue, completely unfounded? Would you feel some type of way?
No. And
Okay,
I
cool.
did say that. But in this case, he is fending it for Skip, yes? He's saying Skip is skint.
You're not saying that. He's just saying that this is
Not
like
skint, but he doesn't like to basically pay for things.
Yeah, but it's not just that. He's speaking to the character of his friend that he's known for decades, and said, "I know this guy. Like, none of this stuff sounds like something that he would do. Even if you wanted to maybe talk about the other stuff, he didn't say this. I'm not saying this part.
That's fair. You can say that.
Yeah. So even if you wanted to say the other stuff, again, he never said this. I'm saying this, right? When there was mention of the 1.5 million, I think that's what made him say, nope, that's not Skip. That's not my friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say.
All right. So what's the lesson for me? Well, I know you shared the article or the video, right? The synopsis of it. But what else? Is the what else you asking me if it is that I would get vexed?
No. It's just me, just basically asking you, like, how would you feel about that? Like, would you feel as though people should come to your aid?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you feel about that?
I think I would understand if people didn't, especially if the crime was heinous. You know what I'm saying? I would understand because obviously we've seen stuff happen. We've seen, you know what I mean? Like, and like I pretty much just understand, innit? But if I, at least in our personal interactions, I feel as though you're on my side, then what's the problem?
All right. So on the flip side, I'm not sure if it is that you'd see this as related, but because of how you move and present yourself to the world, I could basically tell certain things to people and they'd be like, impossible. And I know that it's happened.
Okay.
Because I know you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So in that particular...
This is a very diabolical thing to say.
What?
Yeah, very diabolical.
Wait, what did you say?
That is very diabolical.
What has he said?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
Because it is. But it doesn't matter.
Let's start again.
Let's start
again.
Yeah, but anyway.
You've been on here and you've said a lot of stuff about black this, that, next.
Okay.
So people have formulated certain things. In fact, let me just go to the religion stuff. Before you started leaning heavy on
forget religion. I get what you're saying.
no, but you just said it was diabolical.
No, it's just the way it sounds, isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
Have you played something else in your head?
No, because I'm conscious of how. Again, there's a reason.
What are you doing?
I'm very
To be honest,
conscious.
I don't know why I'm playing like I'm naive. I know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
I know. I apologize.
No, but it's also because I'm conscious of how things sound in 10 years' time and 15 years' time when people will have a vendetta on people.
And then
Because they just don't like you.
They'll say no.
Yes, 100%.
You know?
You're laughing.
Because I'm thinking...
It's happened to too many people.
I'm thinking, I don't even know if someone should actually say, well, it's because you got something to hide that you're saying this. I don't think that's the case.
Of course it's not.
I don't think it's the case. But it could also be the case.
Of course it could be the case. But it's also not the case.
All right, fair.
Because the reality is there's been countless people who have been accused of things they didn't do. Happens all the time.
Do you like when I do this, like talk to you in this manner?
What manner? Having a conversation?
Yeah, but you don't want me to say everything I'm saying.
Yeah, but people know how you are. It's entertainment, isn't it?
So you never say...
When I leave, I would have forgotten it existed.
So you never ask me, like, not to talk about certain things?
I've never asked you to not talk about something.
Yeah, but I know, but that just... It's like a...
We should tell you people
it's
something.
It's an invitation.
No, because it's content. And I think people, like you've even pretty much said, people know, or at least are starting to know how you are. I know what you like to do.
Nah. To be honest, I do believe that a lot of people already know who I am because I've been the same mischievous mother F on different podcasts, right? So they came into this knowing, all right, cool, Brent is going to be this way, right? But I don't think that they think that I lie about everything.
Yeah, not everything.
Or I make everything entertainment and it's not true. It could be entertaining and still true.
Yeah, 100%. But again, it's not a big deal. It's just me saying to you, I'm conscious of certain things. And this is the reason why I value privacy. And I think a lot of people should think that way. Because at the end of the day, I'm very conscious of the fact that I say certain things that people do not like. I'm very conscious of the fact that people do not like me. Yeah, 100%.
That's a harsh thing to say.
How is that? What are you talking about?
It just may not like the ideas, not you.
Yeah, but people can't compartmentalize.
100%.
We've seen that.
100%. Some people can.
So there'll be some people.
If you can, then you do believe that you're not alone in this world.
Of course, but I'm a minority. 100%.
Yeah.
Most people can't even comprehend crap.
Okay, I believe that you believe that.
No, I believe it to be true. It's true. It's a fact.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The reality is this. The reality is this. Forget me. Everybody who basically puts himself out there, right, produces content, is in some sort of public arena, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have people who like what you say, and people who dislike what you say.
Yeah.
And I think on both sides, you're going to have extremes. You're going to have extreme supporters,
but
you're going to have supreme haters.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of your supreme supporters.
All right, cool. Then we thank God for them. You know what I'm saying? Because they obviously see my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Those seem to stick out. I don't see the supreme haters in the group, in the chat. I don't. I don't know where you're getting that from because I don't see it in large parts in the chat. I see more supreme supporters than
because
haters.
because you remember, people don't always make themselves known. Plus, remember, you're
but
forgetting
I know that. But
over the years I've had some extreme supreme haters.
no,
What's that?
the thing is, we always fall victim of this when we have one email coming through.
I even forgot about that email.
So what do you talk about then? So
that was an animal.
So what were you talking about?
Fact. Anyway, that was a hater. How the hell? Thank you for even reminding me. In fact, that was last year. Let me leave it there. There's no need. This year, I'm not addressing the animals. You know
We
what I'm
can
saying?
only draw our metrics off of what we can see or prove. This is the edict of your life. This is what you live by. This is your Bible. Am I not right? You're a fact-based man, right? Stats.
If you can't prove something, it doesn't mean that it's not true or it doesn't exist. All I'm simply saying
I know,
to you,
but
yeah,
for this conversation,
Brent,
you said
Brent,
you
let's
know
not
you have more haters than you have people who support and love you. I don't think that's accurate.
I don't even know where you get these things.
I had a comment come through on Instagram saying, I love Emmanuel now. Like, he's really come a long way. Did you see it? Did you receive it? Let me not paraphrase it.
Okay. Why are you looking for that? Yeah. Again, I hope. See, I'm somebody who listens, isn't it? At least I try my best to. I hope people just recognize what you just did there. I said, he's smiling right now, that I have more haters than the other thing. I never said any of that. I said everyone who's in a public arena will have people who like them, hate them. And on both sides, you're going to have extremes, both. I would rather not give ammunition to somebody that dislikes me. Because a lot of people are just what they are, innit? And like I said, I've taken the time, or at least not even taking the time, I've observed throughout the annals of history how people have been brought down by haters. People who really wanted to contribute, and their heart, at least from my perspective, their heart was in the right place. And people that didn't like them, people that didn't like their views, people that didn't like how they lived their life, whatever, went out of their way to try and bring people down. I would rather, if that occurs, not give the animals ammunition. That's all I'm trying to say. And this is the way I think. That's all.
Proud of Emmanuel's growth. I remember when I started following this account in early 2023, Emmanuel's become one of the most vocal on the pod with eloquent words. Well done, brother.
Cheers. Big up that person, man.
And 2 people liked it.
God bless you.
It's
and
not
the
the most liked comment on the clip. But 2 people like that, man.
Oh, gosh.
So you've grown, man, and I think you have far
There
more
you go. This
supporters.
is why me and Maggie's my sister.
What happened?
She said, I will disagree with you, man. But I still my Ghanaian, Nigerian, Yoruba brother in Christ.
Yeah. And this is what I see.
what I'm saying,
a
but there are
reflection
people
of more
who are
people
extremes,
supporting you and more people not disagreeing with the things you say, but not necessarily not liking you, right? Because on another day, they'll be like, "Ooh, so I love Emmanuel." Do you get
I hear what you're
do you get
saying.
motivation and fuel from there being detractors?
No.
All right, then.
I don't care about that. It's more so. Again, it only takes one person in it, and like I said, because I kind of I see things from an economic standpoint, right? Where you put your resources, I always have in the back of my mind to leave a 10th man toward the gate. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You don't get what I'm saying?
No.
All right, which part don't you get? The
The
analogy.
part when you looked at me and smiled before you said it.
What part?
The
What do you mean?
10th man before the gate.
Yeah.
What is that? Lord of the Rings stuff?
No, it's just
no.
No. It's funny enough, it stemmed from
It's not Lord of the Rings.
No. The Hold on, what's it called?
That's
Game of
that's
Thrones.
the dragon one. Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings is look to the north, look to the south.
Is that Lord of the Rings? Ain't that guy from Game of Thrones as well?
Nah. That's Gandalf.
Okay, yeah.
See me riding my white horse with my long white hair. That was a powerful scene, man. Because he was.
That sounded like when I didn't look at you. It sounded like
this
guy's insane.
Yeah. I got a soundboard clip. I just pressed it. You want to press it again? Because you don't believe me. You don't believe. Because your head turned around so fast, I could have just done it.
You definitely made the noise, which is insane. which is insane. But anyway, yeah, the 10th man basically idea comes from it was one of the Jewish wars. I think it was either 67 or 73, and basically they would always strategize and say to themselves, "Cool, we feel like we've got all our bases covered, right?" So the top generals will always think we've got all. See, I'm saying my mind to the people.
Come on.
I shouldn't, but anyway. So they would always think that way. Cool, we've covered every base because they literally kind of did till a hole was made, right? And then obviously they got infiltrated in that war. Was it 67 or 73? I think it was 67. And they won the war, but it was still came at a high cost, right? And so they made a decision to say, cool, in any group of us, we must elect somebody to be the 10th man. The man that always says, no matter what you guys say, it's wrong. Always make room for the fact that you, all 9 of you, could be wrong, just in case. That's the 10th man. So just in case, I have a 10th man warding a particular thing. Because when you're trying to do something that you care about, again, you've seen in history, some people that don't like what you do or whatever reason. And typically when it's black people that get assassinated or whatever, it's another black man that does it or a black woman that does it. The enemy uses our people. You know what I'm saying? So they may love you in masses, 100%, but it's the same masses that'll turn up to your funeral. You're still gonna be dead. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, don't give ammunition to people that, you know what I mean, that potentially could be using it for. That's basically just my thinking. But
is your neck uncomfortable?
No.
All right, cool. You said that economics rules everything you do, right? Is that what's the line you normally use?
Economics is life.
Economics is life.
And life is economic.
And it's of course every single principle in your life.
I mean, not every single thing. I don't think economics necessarily provides you with a ethical or moral guide to certain things, but it does allow you to see options.
Does it have its place in your romantic life?
Has its place in everywhere to varying degrees.
Do you when it comes to romance, do you lean into the principles of economics, or do you set it aside because it won't get you what you need?
No, economics don't work that way. Economics is not setting it aside, if I'm understanding what you're saying, maybe to save money or to maybe do this. I know you're not necessarily saying that, right? But economics encompasses it all. So if you set something aside, economics provided you the mindset to set it aside. You didn't set aside economics. You know what I'm saying? You worked within the realm of economics. Because economics is about human behavior. You know what I mean?
And that's why I asked you about your romance. So I think I understand what you're saying. At no point in time are you putting it in the cupboard, because it being in the cupboard is part of the stream of economics, right? Mm-hmm. That's for your desired outcome. It needed to be in the cupboard. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't see it as it being in the cupboard. I would just see it as.
Before you putting it aside, I've just used the cupboard. So
no, I get what you're saying, but I'm also just have contention with how you're seeing it. I wouldn't see it as, I put it economic. Let's just personify economics. Put economics over there and then decided to make a decision like this. It's more so economics is here and economics informed my decision.
Yes, the desired outcome, you need to take that particular path, and it involves you not looking to do what you would do for somebody else in this situation. So for you, economics is your life stream. It's your blood. It can't be separated from you, right? As your soul is, economics is for you, right?
Okay, cool.
So it governs everything you do. This is what you're telling me. Or does it not govern everything you do?
I mean, not every single thing, because like I said, it doesn't give you everything. It's more so just about options and stuff, isn't it? It's just about assessing options. It just allows you to maybe open up your mind to certain things you might not have considered before. That's how I see economics. You know what I mean? It's about human behavior. It's about actions and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. When you keep saying it's about human behavior, this is what triggers me to ask you questions where human behavior manifests itself. So in this circumstance, it's in a romantic fling situation, right?
I don't know why we're talking about romance, but all right.
No, because I wanted to know if in a political sphere, right, if you are, no, not political, let's just say you become a landlord. You're using economics wisely in order to basically get as much profit from your ventures as possible.
Okay.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Wrong.
Oh, sorry.
But this is what I'm trying to say to you. So economics doesn't necessarily say do this to get the most. It just tells you if you do this, you could get the most. You decide.
And you've decided you're becoming a landlord, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to use economics, your understanding of economics, to pattern whatever decision you make in order to be successful with this venture.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean get all you want. Get the most from it.
That's what you took umbrage with.
Yeah.
So you would
so
go into buying a house
wrong.
not to get as much from it as possible.
It's possible.
Cool.
Let's just say I had enough, I may buy homes, subsidize them for people who need them. I'm not looking for profit. But my economics.
Sorry, I'm asking this question about landlord and housing because of the sentiments that you shared earlier on in our TDA journey. I don't see you buying houses to then make room for homeless people. I don't see that from you.
Yeah. I may not do that initially, but I could do that one day, of course, easily. Why not?
Oh,
of course.
Well, let me lean into this because this is good.
Why would you think I wouldn't do that? If I want to help people and I have the means to do so, I will do so. But if I don't, then you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like a philanthropist. You got a business, you try your best to maximize the business, minimal outgoings, as much as possible coming in, thriving business, to then give millions away to charity. Same sort of thing. That's an economic decision. It's all economics. It's not like people think of economics just as money or think of it just as, it's not that.
No, I don't want to get bugged into the weeds.
Yeah, we don't need to get
want people to just focus on what you've just said.
Cool.
You are a kind-hearted soul. And you are soft and you're gentle. And at the moment when you have enough resources to benefit the less fortunate, obviously within the black community, you're going to do it. You're going to buy houses and you're going to basically go throughout South London and East London and West London and North London and gather up all the black homeless people and give them food and shelter.
If I could do that, I'll do it like this.
All right.
But
so with this, how many properties do you need to buy before you start doing that?
I don't know.
Because if it's not plausible, then you're never going to achieve this, and you're just saying this to get people on your side.
No, I don't.
I'm joking.
It's again, like there's no perfect solution. There's always trade-offs. For every decision you make, there's something that you've lost. So if I know I'm making, I don't know, tens of complexes for people and I'm subsidizing the rent, I know that the money I could have gained is just money that I can't use for something else. But that's okay because maybe I've done X, Y, and Z over here. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me personally, I've always kind of had that in mind. And this is why I always say what I say on the show.
This is beautiful.
This is why I always say
what
what
I'm saying. You're not a capitalist. You don't believe in
capitalism.
capitalism.
No. Capitalism provides that opportunity.
Oh, serious?
Oh, man.
So
Yeah.
no, to be honest,
But wait.
I'm not
This is
Demi,
why-
I'm not fun in it. So when it is I'm asking these stupid questions, it
not a
might
stupid
come across as
question.
stupid to people. But your sentiment didn't sound as though, as in the past, that you'd be for what I just said. And I, weirdly enough, see my examples of this housing and you subsidizing rent in complexes as anti-capitalist behavior.
No.
And you're now saying it's not, which is good.
That's not correct.
Cool.
Capitalism is about ownership.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it's about ownership. People having the right to own things and decide to do whatever they want to do. You incentivize people to do certain things. Somebody only does certain things because there's something to gain, typically profit. So if you create that sort of environment where someone can gain, right, then fantastic. And we should allow people to do that. But sometimes people want to gain so they can give. You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't you want to gain so you can go to your church and give X amount of thingies to I don't know, a particular initiative that they're trying to do?
Yeah.
Have a charity arm for this, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if somebody doesn't believe in that and they put certain things in place to highly tax you and prevent you from actually sowing seeds in fertile ground, it makes it hard for you to do those things. But even if you didn't want to do those things and just keep the money for yourself, there's nothing wrong with that also. It's not your business. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me personally. I would love to. I've always like dreamt of. Again, it's not about me. Forget about.
No,
about,
it is.
No.
I want people to see
I don't
you're
want to
gentle.
talk into. I don't know.
You know what people
Why?
do gentle? Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No,
All
no,
right. No. If it's offensive, I'll stop it.
It's
I
not
don't want to
offensive.
trigger you. I don't want to trigger you.
It's not offensive.
Do you
It's
believe in
just
child
more-
labor?
What? Child labor? That's insane. No, I don't believe it. No.
Do you believe in empowering others?
In what capacity?
Just answer that question.
I can't, man. This guy.
All right. If you had the opportunity to go to a country and you saw so much poverty, right, to the point where like parents are selling their children into quote unquote slavery, a form of slavery, in order to just work enough to get food to basically bring home to the family, and you have the opportunity to give them a job where they can earn money and not have to basically work for pittance, would you facilitate that?
So, just in case I missed something, yeah.
God damn it.
If I'm viewing a situation where there's parents who are selling their kids, or at least putting their kids in certain situations to earn money, right?
Earn just enough to have
Just to
bread
get by and
and
stuff.
water.
And I am somebody who can do something else and take on that kid, hire that kid. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and you've even built a school so that they can be taught, and only during lunchtime or break time is when it is they come and work in your factory. Let me not do that. Let me do that because you will give them playtime. Let's just say after school for 2 to 3 hours, right? They will come and work in the factory, and you pay them.
No, if it's against the law and
No, it's not against the law.
Am I exploiting these kids?
How do you mean?
No, just
How do you qualify exploiting?
am I paying them what I would pay maybe an adult? Am I paying
Yes.
them? Okay, cool. Are they allowed to do this in the law? According to the law?
As in, can young people work?
Yeah, these.
Yes,
Because
young
remember,
people
you're
can
not
work.
giving me ages, innit? So I'm
Young
trying to
people can work.
ascertain. This guy. All right, you know what? Let me just say, I wouldn't do anything that I think is illegal or wrong. I'm
Well,
not
how
trying to
about
exploit.
morally wrong? Because
Yeah,
if
exactly.
it's legal, that doesn't mean it's...
Or even, if I deem it morally wrong, then no, I wouldn't do it.
So instead, when you go to a country and you see so many children just dying because they have no way to make money and whatnot, you would just give them the money instead, as opposed to...
Yeah, of course. If I have, then why not? Yeah, 100%.
All right, okay.
100%.
So you don't see it as you teaching them a trade? Because you said you had a paper wrong when you were younger, innit?
No, I never said that at all.
Did I make that up?
100%.
What did you do for work when you were young?
What age? What, in my teens? I didn't work when I was like in my early teens.
No, younger.
Well, when I was a child, I did. I didn't do anything, man.
What do you class as
Nothing.
a child?
Either way, I didn't do anything, man.
What?
I was in my house,
What a
man.
whatless you, bro.
I was in my house.
I used to basically wash cars and stuff.
I'm happy
man.
for you, bro.
And mow lawns.
I'm happy for you.
And mow lawns.
We didn't have loans. We didn't have that.
Because of the high rise, isn't it? Them concrete blocks.
We were lucky to have balconies. You know what I'm saying?
You were old enough to be sent to the shop, though, innit? On errands.
Yeah,
You
of
were old enough
course.
to
If my
stay home by
parents-
yourself, innit?
Yeah.
You were old enough to play outside.
But even them times there, your parents, allegedly, innit, in certain environments, parents will leave the kids because they have to, innit? They have to go to work, man. So sometimes at a certain age that you might not do today, you might have done back
it's
then.
9 o'clock. It's mental how I've been doing this, hoping that Margs comes through the door.
Diabolical.
This has to change, brother. Brother, when I tell you, when
man.
it is that wink wink thing happens, I'm gonna be sitting everybody down, and I'm gonna be recruiting. Brother, what we're building here is far too important, man. It's far too important. And people will get bored of just hearing both of us. We need to have our separate show where it's just me, you, and guests that we bring on, innit? Like, interesting
Do you think
people.
we'll get cancelled?
Impossible. Because they would already know if they cancel us, the entire network goes down.
Done. Done.
We will make sure and cancel everything.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
We have to create buffers.
Yes, 100%. You know you like this show over there? Make sure.
But the thing is, it will be like this. What I'm saying is that we would have wavy guests. I'm talking about where we can deep dive. Dr. this, that, and the next of... Like, imagine interviewing Dr. Narcisse from Boardwalk Empire.
Which one's that again?
The Trinidadian guy who was pro-black and he's like, don't you dare talk to me like that.
The Boardwalk Empire?
Yeah.
I'm trying to visualize him. I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But like the most interesting guest. And I'm going deep. Do you understand? I'm asking them questions that nobody had ever asked before. And obviously, I'll have you start because you with your historical knowledge and this, that, and next, you're going to be talking to them nice and stuff, innit? And I'm not going to be rude or anything, but I feel as though them kind of conversations would ginger me enough. Do you understand? And we will get nuggets out of it that we wouldn't be able to get if it is that we had other people in here. Wait, I said that wrong.
Very much
Wait.
Very much so.
Wait a minute.
This is what happens when you talk too much. You just took it.
No, what I meant was, for example, if Dr. Umar comes true, right?
Big up Dr. Umar.
Yeah. Or if, better yet, like one of your spiritualist people, your Babalawos.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it is I'd have enough time to do what I want to do if I'm sharing the floor with other people asking questions and being respectful. Do you understand? I said it wrong again because it sounds as though I would be disrespectful. I wouldn't be disrespectful. Yes. But I'll be asking some questions. Can you do something? No, I'd even ask them beforehand. Bring something so you can do.
People don't know what they ask for. I'm telling you.
The thing is, when you say stuff like that, you tell me that you believe that they can do things that are supernatural. Right?
It's not a case of belief. I know.
All right, and in you knowing...
I told you, right? Stacey right now is enjoying the comforts.
No, but that is said in jest. You saying that
That's
she
true.
should mix goat blood with the Jesus blood.
I never said she should mix it. That was a joke, that part.
What did you... Sorry, I'm not gonna do it. I told you already, I'm not gonna point out the things that you say that is contradictory. I'm not doing it. I'm just letting people have all of you.
It's fantastic that people... At the end of the day, people were here yesterday, innit? So they heard everything I said. God damn it.
Anyway. All right, let's start the show because...
Yes, man.
Because
we've got
Mark's ain't
a
coming.
lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and guys, for topic of the day, I'm pretty sure you guys can see what the topic is. Join us in the Discord, man. I want to hear you guys' opinions on it, man. But yeah, let's get into the first set of headlines, Brent.
God bless Stacey, man.
Yes, 100%.
My God.
All right, people. So our first set of headlines. You know what? This headline kind of sickened me. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. And this is because of Liz Truss. So basically, Liz Truss has sent a cease and desist letter to Sir Keir Starmer. Why? Because of his claims that she crashed the economy. What? We have to bring in lawyers now? You can't do a back and forth with somebody? What's going on there? I don't like it when people can't take certain things, man. You give as much as you get. Yeah. Anyway, so Liz Truss's lawyers have sent a cease and desist letter to Sir Keir Starmer of his claims that she crashed the economy. The letter says Sir Keir has repeatedly claimed the former Conservative Prime Minister crashed the economy with the September 2022 mini budget. is defamatory. That's what she's saying, and will likely continue to cause serious harm to her reputation. She's acting like none of us was there.
Oh, so you agree with?
Of course.
All right.
She did it. And Mr. What's his name? Kwesi Kwarteng. You know what I'm saying? Like we all was there. You know what I'm saying? Even I think he was trying to, in fact, because I saw him I was watching him in an interview, and he pretty much said he didn't fully throw her under the bus, but he somewhat did. And he said to her, "Look, listen, you know, if we do this, this is likely to occur. This is too much." You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Nope, let's get it done." You know what I'm saying? She really wanted to really try and save the economy with some crazy tactics, man, but it didn't work. And this is what happened. So yeah, it's not defamatory if you ask me. But yeah, it focuses on the Labour leader's claims made in June last year during the general election campaign, and says accusations she crashed the economy were made with the purpose of damaging public opinion of mistrust as she stood as a parliamentary candidate. She lost her seat as well, innit?
Rightfully so.
You know what I'm saying? So Keir Starmer's spokesman said that the Prime Minister has no plans to moderate his language. Good. Don't moderate crap, Sir Keir. And he also questioned whether mistrust will be right into the millions of people up and down the country who shared his views. 100%. Are they going to write to TDA? I'm not inviting you to, by the way. But you did. You crashed the economy, man. Anyway, the letter also says it is false to claim the mini budget crashed the economy, and provides details of the definition of crash the economy by Dr. Andrew Lilico, who's an expert from the right-wing think tank, the Institute of Economic Affairs, and managing director of economic consultancy, Europe Economics. So market movement following the mini-budget did not constitute a crash, this is what the letter says, and accuses Sir Keir Starmer of displaying an ignorance of basic economics by doing so. That's not true. I don't believe that he's economically stout, by the way. But, right, or astute, right? But he's right about this, man. Everyone's sorry. We're not stupid. Next headline, trigger warning on this one. And the former Health Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, has apologised to the families of Lucy Letby's victims. Mr. Hunt opened his appearance at the Thirlwall Inquiry at Liverpool Town Hall by saying that Letby's crimes had been committed on his watch. The inquiry is looking into how Letby, who's 35 years old, was able to kill 7 babies and tried to kill 7 others while working at the counters of Chester Hospital between 2015 and 2016. Mr. Hunt apologised for anything that didn't happen that could potentially have prevented such an appalling crime. He also said, although you don't bear response for everything that happens on every ward in the NHS, as Health Secretary, you do have ultimate responsibility for the NHS. He said lessons had not been learned from previous inquiries, or the right systems were not in place that could have prevented this appalling tragedy. And the last headline, all 5 of the living US presidents have been pictured together at the funeral of Jimmy Carter. The 39th US president died at the age of 100 on the 29th of December in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. President Joe Biden gave a eulogy to his fellow Democrat at the state funeral at the Washington National Cathedral. He appeared alongside the president-elect Donald Trump and other former presidents, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and their respective spouses as well. The vice president, Kamala Harris, who lost the 2024 election to Mr. Trump, was also seated with the group alongside her husband. It's the first time that the Democrat nominee has been seen with the president-elect since the US election, and after she certified Mr. Trump's election win on Monday. During his eulogy, Mr. Biden said that Mr. Carter taught him the importance of treating everyone with dignity and respect. To young people, to anyone in search of meaning and purpose, study the power of Jimmy Carter's example. Character, faith, love. A true patriot. So yeah, big up Jimmy Carter, man. He was one of them presidents that, obviously he only served 1 term, but he was one of those presidents that people had a lot of respect for. He was one of those, I don't want to go too far, but he would be the closest president to like a Corbyn. You know what I'm saying? One of those that kind of cared about certain things that you don't typically see other presidents care about. Hence him only having 1 term. You know what I'm saying? But big him up, man. And that's it for our headlines. Let's get into our topic of the day. All right, people. Today's topic of the day. Like I said, you guys call up, yeah? And this was based on a clip that was sent to me by Christy, the queen of BOE. Big up Christy every time. Brent, if you don't mind, can you load up the clip? Whenever I say that, Brent takes like, I don't know, 2 minutes. I don't even know what happens back there. But while he's doing it, I'll say this. Typically, when we had these type of conversations, we kind of base it on black people, innit? And this is a bit different. We'll probably go into us, our community, but this is a bit different. And I do want to see if we have the same sort of standards, if we apply the same sort of principles across the board, and are we consistent here? Because at the end of the day, white supremacy has done a number on pretty much all people over the world, right? So, Brent, if you don't mind, play the clip.
Are you sure you don't want to change your seating arrangement?
Yeah, I'm calm, man.
All right.
Women.
One, a lot of the Asian women that I'm attracted to are dating white guys. Number two is there's probably like an internal validation thing of like immigrant family, growing up seeing Caucasian women on movies, and there's just like this sense of I will be validated if I date a white woman. That doesn't feel fully true when I say it.
See, I actually think a lot of people think it's like a superiority thing, but I almost think if we're associated with a white person, then we won't get mistreated anymore because it's like we get to hide behind them.
I can kind of see what you're saying. I don't get the mistreated thing because I didn't really experience kind of that. But I do think there is a similar sort of thing of like, if I get married to a white woman, I'm part of America, which is crazy because I was born here and
So there is a part of you that felt like you didn't fit in, which is like very valid.
I feel like that's like 20% for me. Like it's not a huge thing.
The other 80 is just like, I look good with a white chick on my arm.
Well, to be sure, I like every color of women, obviously.
If they're hot enough.
And nice enough.
Why do you think you only date white women?
One, a lot of the Asian women that I'm attracted to are dating white guys. Number two
I actually want you to play again, just so everyone can
is there's probably like an internal validation thing of like immigrant family, growing up seeing Caucasian women on movies, and there's just like this sense of I will be validated if I date a white woman. That doesn't feel fully true when I say it.
See, I actually think a lot of people think it's like a superiority thing, but I almost think if we're associated with a white person, then we won't get mistreated anymore because it's like we get to hide behind them.
I can kind of see what you're saying. I don't get the mistreated thing because I didn't really experience kind of that. But I do think there is a similar sort of thing of like, if I get married to a white woman, I'm part of America, which is crazy because I was born here and So there
is a part of you that felt like you didn't fit in, which is like very valid.
I feel like that's like 20% for me. Like it's not a huge thing.
The other 80 is just like, I look good with a white chick on my arm.
Well, to be sure, I like every color of women, obviously.
If they're hot enough.
And nice enough.
Why do you think...
Cool. So, Brent, initial thoughts on that, man? Guys, call up the chat. What's your initial thoughts? Do you feel like what he was saying or what they were saying was honest and could be applied to every other demographic?
What was he saying? Good morning, Jackie.
Morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Nat.
Happy New Year. So let me pause.
Are you in Ghana?
Oh God, sorry. No, I'm back now. I'm back.
Good,
I'm back.
good
I'm
internet
back.
connection then. Cool.
No, it's actually very good. We've got 5G now in Ghana.
Come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you. Thank you. No, the connection's quite good there.
Lovely. So
I've just finished watching.
yeah, what are your thoughts?
It's good that you showed a different race. I think we always assume that this whole affinity or proximity to whiteness is only a black thing, and I think black people are probably the least likely to integrate and still want to maintain their blackness. So what you find is Asians, they stick to their community so deep that once they leave, it's like they're no longer Asian. Not that they've been excommunicated, but you find Asians are in clusters. They marry within. I suppose that's a good thing. They're homogenous in their nature. So when they are mixed race, they don't really say, oh, I'm half Asian. They just say, I'm from London. or from Birmingham, and they don't really associate with their community. They're not going to the Sikh temples, etc. Obviously, I don't know them that deep. Again, if you look at American immigrants, they're very close knitted in their communities. So they go to their Saturday schools with their languages, their dance clubs, their Hindu dance clubs, whatever, even the Chinese ones as well, with their Chinese languages, etc. But when they move out and marry out, they're not filtering in back to their community. And that's, I think, maybe what Black people do. You have a lot of mixed race Black people still within the Black community. Do you know what I mean? So they'll marry a white person or an Indian and they're still coming to the party. They're still cooking out, doing jollof rice and stuff. Whereas when the others move out, they're doing cheese and crackers at parties now. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think.
Is that really accurate though? That when Black people, correct me if I'm wrong, right? When Black people kind of move out, they still come back. Don't you feel
No,
like
they don't even.
So go on.
I think that's our problem. I think I'm not extreme as you, but we're not quote unquote gatekeeping as such. So you'll find a mixed race person, and they're still within the Black. We accept everyone, whereas you don't see homogenous Asian groups and they're half white or they're half Black. That half person is going to go to the other side.
Does it depend on?
Do you go to Asian parties and you see? Have you seen a Black? Half Black Asian person at Asian events?
Good point, but to be honest with you, I've never. That's not my.
Yeah, you know
what I mean.
Yeah.
But when you say that, it's making me think of Lin May, innit? Because I'm pretty sure she's half Black and half Pakistani or something, innit? So,
Precisely.
and I think she's kind of commented on how sometimes she gets some of that rejection from the Pakistani community, from you know what I'm saying, that side of the family or whatever, and yeah. But isn't that just a... Does it depend, though, on what the other side is? So, for example, if she was half Pakistani and half white, would she be more allowed in the Pakistani community? Because sometimes I feel as though the mix, because the mix is Black, it's more of an abomination.
I think also, if for you to also have married outside of the Pakistani community, you don't want to be doing their traditional things. You don't want to be following their religion, because a lot of it is centered around religious culture as well. So you kind of veer away from it and then say, that's what I find anyway. I think they will then stick closer to the white community because they're eating the bangers and mash. They're having their little other parties. And for you to have left your Pakistani community where there's so many Pakistanis around you, you made an active choice to say, I don't really want to rock with you guys on Saturdays or the other times or the other celebrations.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like you can find Asians, if you look around, like an Asian and a Chinese and a white couple, you'd find them doing a lot more white things, like European-centric things. But maybe it's also because of the school they went to. Whereas I think we hold our Black standard. It's like, if you married out, you failed us.
Is that
either you failed
true,
us
though?
or you can still come in.
Is that really true? Because look at how many mixed race people we've seen, who sometimes the Black community doesn't really take them in because of how they kind of move. Like in terms of like those, for example, who live in Essex or one of these other places in the UK where they don't necessarily relate to that Black British culture. They're mixed, but because they're out there in the sticks now and they're not fully, you know what I mean, familiar with us, we kind of, I don't know, there's kind of a divide. We even do it to other Black people who are fully Black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So is that really accurate? Isn't that just something that occurs? I don't think it's necessarily a case of if somebody's mixed, they just tend to come back to the Black community. I think it really depends. It depends. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but say, for example, take that same mixed race person in London, they're more easily accepted within the Black community than a mixed race Chinese person in their Chinese community. So take London, where there's no, you lack, quote unquote, lack the Black culture or the Asian culture.
Yeah.
Take it where they're all from East London, one's from Stepney Green, one's from Hackney. You'd find that the Asian person doesn't go to their Asian things, whereas the Black person can still go to a Black church. There's loads of mixed race people in Black churches.
Yeah, 100%. But I think I think the difference is because Black people, we say mixed race people are Black, innit? So I think it's a bit different. Yeah. If you go to an Asian person, point blank, look at a half Asian person and say no.
And say they're the other side.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's only us that do that. So I think that's why it's different. You know what I mean? But even with that aside, though, do you see it as interracial, pursuing somebody of the opposite sex, or even the same, whatever it is? Yeah, is it a validation thing, or is it just what they actually
Proximity
want?
thing.
Hmm?
I think sometimes a proximity thing.
Okay.
So I have an uncle who married outside, and he was like, at the time he was in this country, there weren't any others to look for, if that makes sense. So it's like, am I going to go for who I like and who's near me, or someone that's Ghanaian and I'm going to bring them from Ghana just because? I'm going to go for the person I like. That's my friend. And there was no Ghanaian girls in his college at that time. This is 60 years ago. So you might think, oh, he wanted to be validated. Like, no, that's the nearest person I found.
Yeah, I hear you. I do think that's definitely part of it. But in 2024, where most people are just making a decision they're making, you feel like the motivation for those decisions is attraction? They're just genuinely attracted to this person? Or do you feel like it also comes with being validated or wanting to be validated? You know what I'm saying? Because listen to what this guy said.
Everyone wants to be validated.
He said, right, that I'm American. I was born here. But I do feel like at least 20%, right, of it is the fact that it makes me fit in a bit more. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like
But I think
subconsciously
everyone
that's
wants to
the
be
case?
validated, but
Yeah, but
I
validated by
think
who? Everyone may
by the
want to be
people around
validated, but
you.
not. Yeah. But you remember people who are kind of going to, do the interracial thing. That's not necessarily an around you situation. Some people are leaving their communities. You know what I'm saying, and mixing, right? So is it a validation by those groups, by those people that they're mixing with? She's not just
Not to generalize, but if you hear that man, he sounds like he went to an all-white school or predominantly white school in a particular area. So you'd kind of want to be validated by those who are going to appreciate who you are. Whereas if you go to, take for example, the Essex person, a black person in Essex, in the sticks of Essex, they're kind of not going to fit in central London, in the South Londons of life. So you might prefer someone from Essex that's going to appreciate how you talk, why you eat Sunday roast all the time, over someone from Brixton.
So you
who
just
won't
see it.
appreciate who you are.
So you just see it as, okay, this is just cultural similarities here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
and I think that's why you've got to be intentional with parenting. So if you don't want your children to marry outside, then don't put them in a place where they're only going to have a small pool of their own.
okay, I hear that. I feel like that is probably something that could happen, 100%. But there are people, again, like we're seeing it from people like in our age and a bit younger in London, where everyone's pretty much the same. When I say the same, obviously, I don't necessarily mean economic status necessarily, but everyone's together. You know what I'm saying? There's so many black people, so many white people, so many Asians, whatever it may be, right? People are not necessarily outside of cultures like that. No one's culture is unfamiliar to another person
You'd be surprised. Oh,
no,
my
wait,
goodness.
to such
You'd
a
be surprised.
crazy degree. So my thing
Yeah.
is, if somebody is mixing interracial dating, it may just seem like something that's normal to them. But I'm also saying, do you feel like that sometimes comes with not necessarily a conscious agenda, but there's also something underlying there where it's like, cool, I want to be part of this. I like the thing that I potentially could be going into. And when I'm there, and this is my new family, this is my wife, this is my husband, these are our children together, I feel like I'm in. And no one could tell me I can't be here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Because now my children have validated it.
Precisely.
You know what
And
this
my
reminds me
relationship
of?
is
This is
validated.
very optically reminds me of Eve. You know Eve, the rapper, with her during her husband's Christmas dinner. I don't know if Brent can pull it up.
No, he's just
But she's
gone and done
literally
something. But go on, say again.
she's literally
Eve.
Eve, the rapper who's
Yeah.
married a British billionaire.
Yeah.
She posted a picture of her during their Christmas dinner. She's literally the only black human being amongst his whole family.
Yep.
But did Eve do that as a form of self-hatred or validation, or she just found the person who she loved?
But
then,
yeah, go on.
I wish the picture was pulled up. But then, seeing who Eve is now compared to who Eve was yesterday with Rough Riders, I would love her to kind of optically looks like she's sold out for the money and stuff. And then also, is your son gonna know that he's black? Is he gonna know that he's from America? Is he gonna know your culture? Or now he's so in that white space that he's kind of been validated and accepted.
Yeah, somebody in the chat just said the photo of Eve is scary.
Honest, nah, it was wild. But then it's like, could you not have invited one cousin, someone from America, to say, okay, let my son? But obviously that's just Christmas dinner. Maybe they had them at other times.
Exactly.
But I think is the intentionality of, if you are in those white spaces, I don't know, maybe have some blackish things. But that's a burden on people to then carry their culture on their head.
But is it a burden to carry your culture? Isn't your culture just what you are?
Yeah.
It's just
It's
what
a
you
burden.
are. Why
No,
is it a
because
burden?
if for example, people in Ghana are not going ham on culture as much as people in England that want to preserve their Ghanaian culture. So you find that sometimes our parents did
But what are they
a
losing?
lot more.
What would they be losing back home in Ghana? You're not losing your
No,
culture
they don't
back home.
no, they don't have to. So, for example, my daughter, every time now there's black people on TV, she's happy. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Stormzy's from Ghana. Michael Dapper's from Ghana." If she was in Ghana, I wouldn't have to have done that for her.
Yeah, but that's
because it's just the norm.
Exactly, but that's not because people are consciously saying, "I don't care about my culture. I don't have to carry on my head." It's your norm.
Yeah, so
you
therefore,
don't have to think about it.
The opposite do have to think about it. So me saying that about Eve, I wouldn't have seen that as a bad picture if she married a black man and everyone from his family was there and she was the only member of her family. But because he's white, I'm like, oh no, she should have had another black person there. But why if she's at her husband's family's event? If I went to my husband's family event, I wouldn't be saying, oh, where's my cousin?
Yeah, but that's because
I
get what you're saying, but that's because of the obvious, though, isn't it? Because of race, isn't it?
Yeah, precisely. So therefore, if you marry outside your race, people expect you to do a lot more than you would if you were in your race. Similarly, if you lived in your country of like origin, you wouldn't have to do as much as those who kind of. So you can find kids in Ghana that don't eat Ghanaian food.
Yeah.
But when we're here, it's like, oh my gosh, you have to eat banku, you have to eat fufu. But why? There's kids in Ghana that don't like eating that. There's kids in Ghana that don't like eating pepper. But when we're here, oh my gosh, you have to eat spices because you're Ghanaian. Why?
No, but we know why though. Because in Ghana, you don't lose your culture in Ghana. It's the only culture you got. When you're here,
that's the whole point. Yeah.
No. But when you're here in the West, your culture is contending against another culture.
Precisely.
And it's important to keep it.
It's the same way when you marry outside, because people want you to overly represent your culture. It might look like you're marrying outside for validation. Now you're closer to the other side, closer to whiteness. So therefore, that was your original agenda. Why are your kids not eating jollof rice? Why are they not speaking their language? You weren't going to speak it if you married a Ghanaian.
No, but I don't think it's necessarily that people are saying all of that. I think it's just more so that people are conscious of it, or they need to be conscious of it because they're aware of the fact that if you're not, there's consequences for it. You know what I'm saying? And also because they just expect certain things, because obviously race is just an obvious just an obvious thing, man. Like that everyone notices. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, if somebody takes a bit more time to recognize, wait a minute, she's with her black husband and literally just his side of the family, then you wouldn't think anything of it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you know the day before, the day after, everybody was with her side of the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of
also
those
a question
things.
to you: if you're an adult, so now you have children, are you intentional about the spaces that you put your child in?
100%.
And the affinity with blackness?
100%.
So would you say, for example, Oxford is always going to be Oxford, and certain secondary schools and colleges are always, not always, but they're going to be predominantly white and white culture. Would you actively pick a Brompton Manor? You know, the kids that went a Brompton Manor or a well-known sixth form or college?
I would pick the better one because I've put in the work now.
So there's, say for example, she's got a scholarship, for example, for
Oxford or something.
Cheltenham girls.
Okay, cool.
Sorry?
Sorry, go on.
Cheltenham Girls.
Mhm.
Cheltenham Girls is a really good girls' school. It's in the sticks somewhere, and predominantly white people. The blacks are probably just boarding school kids from rich African homes.
Mhm.
So there won't be many Londoners. Yeah.
Mhm.
Would you pick that one? Scholarship, easy access to Oxbridge, all of that.
Mhm.
She won't ever struggle to get a job with the CV and stuff.
Yeah.
Or Brampton Manor, where the kids will probably go to Oxbridge as well, but it won't be as recognised, number one. And number two, the benefit is she's surrounded by skin folk and kinfolk.
You see,
Which one would you pick?
Well, I think one of the a good thing about education is the fact that you mix with people from different backgrounds and also people from your own background. So if I'm basing this on the fact that I know Olivia went to Brampton and then went to Cambridge, I know that Nimi went to Brampton, went to Cambridge, then that gives me enough confidence to say that, cool, you can be around your people in those environments, have a great standard of education, and still get to the top institution in the world. You see
But
what I'm
then they'll
saying?
struggle less when they're in that institution, because when to get there is one part of the struggle.
Struggle
To
less
stay
where?
in there.
What, in
So
Cambridge?
so if they went to Cheltenham Girls, for example,
Yeah.
they will struggle less in Oxbridge
In what way?
because the language is familiar. So
'cause the
Brampton Manor
okay.
kids,
Mhm.
their academics is what's getting them there, but the
Yeah.
social capital is not there. Let's be honest about
Okay,
that.
yeah, that
So
part
your
wouldn't
kid,
matter to me, because the reality is
the
that as
social capital
human
wouldn't matter.
beings, you adapt. In the same way, we know that Nimi and Olivia are going to come out and have amazing degrees from Cambridge. It's just life. Certain things are just life. We are living in the West. This is not our home. So you just have to thrive in whatever environment you're put in. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes
This is
these struggles are necessary. They're necessary. But again, one of the
you don't mind your
reasons...
daughter struggling.
Say again?
You don't mind your child struggling
Absolutely not.
over ease.
Absolutely
Okay.
not. Frederick Douglass said, without struggle, there's no progress. And that's a fact.
I have a question.
Well, one second, Sally, yeah. So, sometimes the struggle is necessary to be a productive human being, or at least to maximize your productivity. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why people...
No, I don't think it's good.
Huh? What?
No. So you'd rather, but so let me put this. So Cheltenham Girls, for example,
Yeah.
they're going to everyone's going to be doing extracurriculars. Everyone's going to she's going to get the best of a lot of other things outside of academics.
Yeah.
Then Brampton Manor, all they will have is academics.
But I heard what you're saying. But I'm also saying that at the end of the day, Nimi and Olivia, for example, who went to Brampton, they're going to go to Cambridge. They're going to get amazing degrees, become an economist and a doctor. Same way the Cheltenham Girls would, right? Yes, you may leave with other skills, but I'm also saying there's other skills you can gain from Brampton Manor that you can't get from Cheltenham. There's other interactions and relationships that matter to me and to my children. The fact that you can be amongst your own people and see excellence amongst your own people. You know what I'm saying? And know it to be a reality. Like, everything to me isn't just about that part. If the education standard was completely drastic between Cheltenham and Brampton, then that's a different story. Then go Cheltenham. You know what I'm saying? But if they can get the academics, the things that they can't necessarily get at home, and be of a high standard, and then go to the best institution in the world, come out with the best degree, or just a degree from the best institution in the world, what am I complaining about? Especially since the type of person I am, I'm not raising my kids to just go out and get jobs. They're going to be entrepreneurs. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things as well. The reason why I'm confident about my decision is because I'm starting from now. It's the mindset I'm putting in. Like, not one part of me really will be scared of the fact that my children won't know who they are as black people. Today, they know who they are. Today, they know what they have an affinity towards, or she has an affinity towards. And that's been shown and proved. Like, Christy was here, Esther was here, Brent was here, Lavinia was here after the show, and they were asking her certain questions. Showed and proved she's 4 years old. Affinity to black people, because from day dot, from 3 months, what I'm watching, she's watching. It matters to me. You know what I'm saying? So when she gets to 16, 17, 18, she's not going to make the decisions that make me cry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be worried. You know what I mean? So I can just focus on the academics and the other things that I think will help her be a well-rounded individual.
And I think maybe that's where some parents not dropped the ball because they didn't think that they had to even focus on that, where they were Like they focused on, let me give my child the best environment and the best schools. And then at the expense of it was that they went to the Cheltenham girls and then they were only surrounded with whites, essentially. So therefore, they then had to be valid. Everyone wants to be validated within their community, and that, unfortunately, was their only community. So therefore, you'd naturally want to marry a white person because of the fact that that's your only surroundings. You want to marry someone that is highbrow in the best. If I went to SFX, you'd want to be not like, it was black excellence, but it was a very black school as well. No one's speaking in any certain way, but it was like the Brampton Academy of South London for colleges. But then that's your community. So now then you've built around that and you want to be validated there. So I think likewise, if you go to the other schools, you'd want to be validated amongst those people. But I think it's different if you went to a Brampton college and then wanted to overly be validated by someone in Oxford when you went there. So it's like, now I think that's a different kind of group of people. And that's when they want that kind of negative validation there.
Okay.
Hello?
All right, yeah. Yes, Saleh.
And
Hello.
Good morning, Izzy Bambino.
Jeez, is calling up, yeah? Big up, Izzy.
Yeah, morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you,
Happy
man.
New Year.
Good morning, everyone. How is everyone feeling today?
Blessed and highly
Fantastic.
favored. How are you?
Oh, I'm amazing. I'm fantastic ants. I'm fantastic ants. That means fantastic, and I can't be bad. That's what it means.
Amazing.
Amen. Jackie. Still here?
Yes.
Still there? Aha, yes. So you were saying the two schools, Brampton, and what was the other one?
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham girls, but it's just an example, yeah. But like I say, very excellent secondary.
Yeah, so what are you saying are the benefits of either going to the Cheltenham or going to the Brampton?
The benefits are...
For a black person.
That's the problem, though. That's the problem I have. So I've got a child, and my problem is, am I going to apply for a private school for her when should it be great facilities? The facilities are outstanding for private schools because their parents pump money in there. I went for open days for an amazing private school, but you'd get excellent facilities, excellent opportunities to advance in what you wanted to advance in. So not just academics. So say, for example, you're a good runner, athletics-wise, you'd have one of the best coaches who could put you in the best positions to maybe run in the Olympics. If you're a good tennis player, you'd have coaches that will train you in the morning, etc., etc.
And which school are you saying this is in? Brampton or which one?
No, Cheltenham girls, because the money's there. The facilities are donated by the patrons and the alumni, etc. So the swimming pools are outstanding. You're not doing no small, deep end, shallow end. It's amazing. Everything they do there is amazing. You'll get that kind of extracurricular is going to be outstanding. The food's going to be great. The expectations of the school and the way they speak to you is going to be great. It's similar to Brampton, but then the exposure. I'm trying to not talk about race, but the exposure that the other children will have will be akin to what you as a parent would want your child to also be exposed to. So, for example, traveling, they're going to be further well-read. Their parents are going to have, on the whole, wider experiences than maybe someone from inner city London.
Wait. I'm very sorry. Wait, so are we still on the benefits for Cheltenham?
Yeah, we're still on the benefits of Cheltenham.
Oh, okay. No, the Cheltenham one, that's fine because that's a private school. That makes sense. But okay, so what about for the other one then?
You're going to get good academics. You're going to get the exact same grades as the Cheltenham kid. You're going to be with your people.
Okay.
They're not going to laugh at your accent. You're not going to try and have to put on any received pronunciation to sound better. You're going to know the exact same high vocabulary, but you can say in it and you get me. And you'll be comfortable there. And you're comfortable in your culture. You can eat jollof rice. Black History Month is not going to be a big thing. It's not going to be something you have to fight with the teachers to do. That's the benefit.
So I'm failing to understand it because saying in it You can tell them in it at home, innit?
So what would you pick?
Well, definitely. Like that's why I was asking you what the benefits are of going to the Brampton one, because I don't really get it. Like,
The only benefit, because remember they're all going to get into Oxbridge. The only benefit is you're with your skin folk and kinfolk. They're your people. You can be yourself around them.
Culture's
yeah,
more familiar.
but school. How long does school last? Like, if
The
you're sending them
foundation.
if you're sending them to a school for them to get the grades, or for them to reach the upper echelon of the society that we live in this country, then they're going to need to get used to being around those people at some point. So it's much better for them to get used to it at a younger age, so that if anything, they don't grow up saying the in it, so that when they're in the rooms of the people that they're going to be associating with in the future, now they're not shunned upon because they're walking around saying in it.
But what's wrong with saying in it? If I'm also able to produce my job and also able to use...
That's what you're saying right now. I think that is the problem, because there's nothing wrong with saying in it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with saying in it. You can walk around saying in it with impunity. However, if you're going to a specific, if you're going and you're mixing in certain rooms and you want to be mixing with these certain people, these lawyers, these doctors, these blah, 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 you can say in it until the cows come home. But at the end of the day, most likely, those people are not going to, they're going to look at you a bit sideways, because that's not how they speak. Simply because of that. So then, yeah, no, that's.
I think that's when the negative side of it comes in. So you're talking about even in the workplace, but then when they go to Oxbridge, I had a friend that went to the Oxbridges and she felt isolated, not because of her academics, because when you're writing exams, she's doing medicine, but it's the other things that she lacked so much more, that she felt inadequate. So if she then wanted to feel validated, she'll drop the in it, drop the fact that she's from Central London or Peckham, and want to be validated by them, because nobody wants to be ostracized because of how they speak, because of the fact that they don't know how to eat sushi with chopsticks. Those little nuances that we don't get when we're in certain communities, certain Black communities, for example. As Sally and all of you have said, you'll find out the hard way. And do you want your child to find out the hard way sooner? Not even if you're in those schools sooner, it becomes part of your culture. So if you went to Cheltenham Girls, it would be the norm to do certain things, as opposed to finding out when you're 21 in the law firm.
What would be the norm? Sorry.
So for example, let's use in it, not speaking with local colloquial language. You wouldn't be doing that if you went to Cheltenham Girls from the age of 12. So that wouldn't be your norm. You'd change how you speak, you change what you'd eat, etc. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you,
No, go on. I'll let you finish.
If you learn that, it's either you learn it now or you learn it later. But again, if you're creating the new Black communities and entrepreneurism, you don't need to be put into those situations. So if you look at the Asian community, they have businesses, so they don't need to drop their Asian accent-ish, if that makes sense. They don't code switch as much in the workplace at times, unless they've gone to the Cheltenham.
I definitely would disagree with that. I would definitely disagree with that. But because, like, with everything that we're looking at, we need to look at the industry that it's in. Like, when you go to any medical practice, a hospital, a GP, blah blah blah, the doctor, unless maybe if they've got an accent which is ingrained in the way they speak, then yes, you'll hear it. But I don't see any, like, if we're speaking of Asians, I don't see Asians like they speak to us in a professional way. Like, so I definitely don't think that, like, if you were to go and speak to an Asian doctor, they'll be saying in it to you. Definitely not.
Is code switching between unprofessional and professional?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Interesting. That might be a topic of the
Wait,
day.
what did you say? Is code switching?
Yeah, switching between unprofessional and professional.
Doesn't always mean that.
Exactly.
Is
that how you guys see it?
Well, I see code switching would encompass that, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Topic of the day, dependent. I want to ask Izzy his opinion, yeah, because obviously he doesn't always call up in it, so I want to make sure he doesn't disappear. Izzy, what are you saying? You're right.
No, I'm still here. I'm just listening because I was probably going to take the conversation a bit left, but
Come
in
on.
terms of the school. No, but in terms of what Saleh and Jackie were talking about, I guess I think your desire for success shouldn't impact your closeness to your culture. So I guess regardless of what institution you want to be a part of, it shouldn't come at sacrificing your culture. But I kind of joined in between, so I'm not sure exactly if that was like the main conversation. But back to like the dating preference
the initial
topic. Obviously, I love Black women. My preference is Black women. They're amazing. But I think there's kind of two parts. Mainly, the first part being is that some Black women or Black people in general kind of conflate Black men that have a preference for non-Black women with Black men that just happen to find love in other races. Again, that's not me, but I think that's kind of one of the pushbacks some people get, because you have a lot of Black men that have spent their whole adult life looking for the right Black woman, and then someone outside their race just comes in and someone else doesn't.
That is true.
The thing is that this instrumental makes it sound like I'm saying something. But I guess the second part.
How intentional are they though? So I find Black women are dying on the line to make sure they wait for a Black man, and they're doing everything they can in their power to wait for that Black man. Whereas a Black man, stereotype, I'm generalizing here, is like, oh, I tried, I went to 2 parties, and now I'm going to stick with the people that are in my proximity. Whereas a Black woman, they're going to Dirty December to look for a man. They're going here, Miami. They're going to these networking events. They've been, not Miami, sorry, but they've been very, very intentional about trying to be in the Black spaces to find a Black man.
I think there's a
effort has been put into them?
I think there's a simple explanation for that, because majority of men go for the women that they can get. They can get. So it's like they're throwing shit at the fan, or whatever sticks, that's what they go for. However, women...
Then you're not being intentional.
Sorry?
Then you're not being intentional. You don't want it as bad as Black women want Black men.
I said majority. I didn't say myself. I said majority.
No. I'm saying, when I say you, I'm not saying you. I'm generalizing.
Yeah.
In that, the you that are not doing it.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Yeah. So no, they are being intentional. They're being intentional, but to what end? They're being intentional in trying to find a partner. However, women are looking for more their Prince Charming.
Nope.
If that makes sense.
Nope.
Well, that's the way I see it.
They're not looking hard enough, because there are single Black women who are amazing, but they just can't find a Black man. But they're
and that's what I'm
waiting
saying.
for that man.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're looking for their Prince Charming. So many men will come across and they'll completely just ignore them because they're just subpar. And just like you're saying, they're looking for that Black man. So a white man, an Asian man, a good men might come across and they're saying, nah, I'm overlooking it. Same way, a Black man might come across, oh, no, he's too short. This man might come across, oh, he doesn't make enough. Blah, blah, blah. They're looking for LeBron James, 6'7", 20 whatever figures.
I think that's a bit harsh to put all on women, to be honest.
Some of them are just looking for someone Black, and it's like a Black man that doesn't have extracurricular stuff going on. Just a Black man. Whereas what Izzy's saying is a good point. They were looking for Black women but couldn't find them, so then they married outside their race. Whereas a Black woman, on the other hand, is saying, I'm still looking for my Black man. I'm still trying. So Dirty December is like the fact that they went to Ghana or Nigeria to look. There's more people there in the pool to be looking at. So therefore, why not go there? So how many of these Black men?
How many people went there? How many people went there? They saw all the Black people there, and they came back empty-handed. What's going on? Go back and
because loads of them, because it's a mezzob. But at least they went. And the intention was
exactly. Because why? Because the guy, he doesn't have his finances, or he's not tall enough, or he's this, or he's that.
The guy's probably married in London.
There's always going to be an answer, and this answers exactly what you were saying at the beginning. Men they're just accepting it. They're finding a wife. Most men,
Yeah.
they wake up, they walk outside, they say, "Who will take me?" And then they go
Precisely.
to the first signer up. However, with the women,
Precisely.
and yes, and with
Precisely.
the women, it's a lot harder than that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If anything, it's a
Precisely.
very good thing. Women should have high standards. It's very good because the higher standards of women, the better men will try to achieve and provide and blah blah blah.
Precisely.
However, that is just the reason for it.
No, but then what is he saying? Men are not they don't want it as bad. So, for
Want
example,
what?
Iman's saying he'd pick Brampton Manor over Cheltenham Girls because he knows the benefit of he's going to lose a lot by not going to Cheltenham Girls with his child by going to Brampton Manor because he knows that he prioritizes skin folk over kinfolk, like skin folk. Sorry, he wants his own people. He's been intentional. Whereas a black man, generalizing here, is like, oh, I couldn't find it, but I've now settled my neighbor.
Wait. I'm so
Black
confused.
women are traveling far and wide to look for men.
Wait. I'm really confused. I'm trying to keep up. Are we mixing the Cheltenham and Brampton thing? That was the education one, and then now we've got also relationship
No,
topic.
it's not the
what's
education.
going on?
It's the example of you'd pick one and lose the other. You'd pick something. You'd lose something by maybe going to Brampton Manor. You're going to lose something, and it's easier. The better option is maybe to go to Cheltenham Girls. Likewise, if a black man really wants to marry a black woman, you can go far and wide to look for a black woman that is your kind of woman. But because of you're not being as intentional. So E-Man will be intentional by sending his kids to Brampton Manor, for example. Likewise, the black men that Izzy's talking about, be equally as intentional to look for a black woman. The same with the same energy. Black women are looking for black men. Black women are looking for black men.
Yeah, sorry to cut you there, but I think what I would say is that most black men do have more of an intention to date black women as opposed to other races, but it's just not matched to the level of intention of black women. So I guess the question is the level of intention black women have a standard, or is it maybe an extreme? Just a question. And then I guess, oh gosh, I guess the second somewhat inflammatory question is, hypothetically, if a black man was looking for a partner and he had two options, a white woman that he sees as 10 out of 10, whatever that means, and then a black woman that he sees as 8 out of 10, whatever that means, I'll be expecting black men to somewhat just go to the lower quote unquote option.
Yes,
just because
that's
of the
what
race.
black women are doing. Yes, that's what black women are doing. And that's why, another example, that's why Email will pick Brampton Manor over Cheltenham. It's not because it's the better option, but because his priority is blackness.
No, but that's what makes it a better option.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But then therefore, the 8 out of 10 should be 11 out of 10, really.
No, she's just an 8 out of 10, but it's still the
No,
8 out of 10.
Her blackness made her 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, what about if she was a 4 out of 10? Let me know.
Blackness would make her 8 out of 10.
No. She's still a 4 out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but she's black. No. When you're level, then you have the asterisks. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yes. You
the
got
rating is the net figure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
because
that's just how
a black
it is.
woman would be like, oh, but he's black. Oh, but he's from my tribe. Oh, but then my kids are black. That's the same energy that you need to have as well.
Yeah, but those things are good things. Like a woman saying that, oh yeah, but he's black and da. Those are good things. That's somebody who's intentional, who's considering their children and how they want to raise their family or move their family in this world. You know what I'm saying? Agreed. I think black men should do exactly the same thing. But I don't think we should be saying that somebody choosing the Brampton Manor, for example, going back to the analogy, is somebody willingly knowing that this is less than this, but only doing this because it's black. No, to me, the blackness is what makes it better. It's not what do you call it? A satisfying thing to make me feel better at night. No.
No, but you've also lost a lot by going to Brampton Manor.
Yes, but
you've lost a lot.
Yes, 100% I did. But those things that I lost were less than the thing that I gained. That's why I chose that decision. It was a better decision.
That's why the 8 out of 10 black woman is better than the 10 out of 10 white woman.
No, yes, but that's because the 8 out of 10 black woman is a 10 out of 10 black woman. Do you get what I'm saying?
So
I'm not,
maybe
I'm not
that's
seeing.
about
I'm
what
not
I'm
seeing.
saying.
I'm not seeing 8 out of 10 black women are saying, yeah, she's now 10 because she's black. No, the whole package made her 10. You're saying that the white woman's 10 and the black woman is 8. I'm saying, cool, they're both 10. I'm not choosing.
What?
I'm not
No,
choosing.
he's saying that
Just to,
there's the
just to,
lady. She's got 10
let
very
me
good
just clarify
points,
my
and then the
question.
other. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, please let
So
Izzy
what I'm
speak.
saying, no, what I'm saying is that obviously in both genders, there's people within your race that you just wouldn't date because you don't get along, you don't have the same interests, etc., etc. She might not look the way you like, and vice versa for men. Basically, what I'm saying is, with all of that packaged in, a woman that comes to an 8 out of 10, quote unquote, are we expecting black men to go in that direction if they have what could be considered better options outside their race? I wouldn't, just to put my ass out there, but it's just a question to raise.
Okay, so you're basically saying that it's clear that, for example, the Filipino woman, for example, is 9 out of 10, and the black woman's a 7 out of 10. Should black men, for example, go for the 7 out of 10?
Expected.
Yeah, should they? Okay, cool. Should they be expected to do so? Okay, cool. Saleh?
Well, and wait, with these ratings, are we just talking physically? Like,
No,
No.
everything,
No, other
compatibility, everything, education, background, stuff, everything.
wait, okay,
Everything.
but then there's all this, but then there's also like the I guess what could you call it? Connectivity level, like
Yeah, all of
what do
that.
you call that?
Then yeah, I'd adapt into the rating. I'm just trying to simplify it so like
So
Yeah.
we're basically saying that you get on more with the Filipino lady, blah blah blah. Everything is just more with the Filipino lady.
A little
Should
bit
you
more,
go with the
not
black
not
lady?
significantly. No, but it's not 4 out of 10 versus 7 out of 10
Yeah, it's
versus
It's
9
a
out of 10.
7 out of
What it
10.
was.
It's
It's
7 out of 10
almost,
versus 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
almost
But
there.
now
She's
that's
lacking a
2
little
points.
bit.
2 points is quite significant, no?
Yeah, but the 7
Out
is
of just
quite
20%.
Yeah, 100%. But the 7 is quite high, so it's not a 3 versus a 5. It's still a 7 versus a 9. You know what I'm saying?
But
Good
still,
good versus very good.
I think at this point we've gone down a rabbit hole and now we're asking ourselves stupid questions. Why
No, we're
would
not.
we go?
This is what black
Wait,
women have to ask as well. No, we're not.
so you're saying that you would rather go with someone that you like less because
No.
of
No, it's
what?
not like unless you know when someone has a little bit more points than the other. So you've got two people that are contending, and one is a little bit better, but the one that's better is not black. So,
Put it this way.
but I
Saleh,
think so. A black woman will pick the black man,
Oh,
and that's
wait,
the difference.
hold on, 1 second.
No,
Let's
That's
put it
like
to money.
10,
So
man.
Yeah, we
if
can.
it was a black woman, if it was a black woman, and let's say women obviously providing is a big thing. So let's say the difference was financially. So 7 out of 10, the black man was great, but 8 out of 10, the white man had a lot more money. He came from extreme wealth.
Mm-hmm.
A black woman will still pick a black man and say, "I'll build with him."
Because yeah, of course, 100%, for a plethora of reasons, right? But I think it's because of what they value coming out of that relationship and in
The
that
blackness.
relationship, exactly, and the children and the culture. And this is the reason why I said
The
what I said
blackness,
earlier.
yeah.
Those things to me, like typically, if somebody's, let me not say typically, but let's just say you've got a list of 10 different things in your ranking, right? To me, there's just certain things in that list that are more important than other things in the list. And so that blackness might give you 3 points instead of your
Yeah.
potential to earn money. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something to be said about how black women operate. But also, I think it's also how black men operate too. But obviously, it might be like Izzy's saying to a lesser degree. But I think it really is down to the individual and what the individual values in a relationship and going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, guys.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to leave now. I've actually got a call, and it's started already. But
Oh.
everyone have a fantastic day.
You too,
I
man.
was really enjoying this.
Okay.
We'll have to circle back.
but Emmanuel, back to your point that you've made.
Yeah.
That's why there's a disconnect maybe with the if you look at the proportion of
Yeah.
mixed race interracial relationships where the black man has another race partner
Yeah.
versus a black woman who has another race partner.
Yeah.
Black men have more racial, do you know what I mean? So there's more interracial relationship where the man is the black person.
Okay,
Because of the
I'm not
points
too,
you've
I'm not
made,
too
they're
sure.
not
I'm not too sure if
accidental.
that's the case, but let's just say it is. Yeah, I think also this is going to sound very bad. In fact, let me not say it. But
Maggie's made a very, very good point.
what did
This is a point
Maggie
that
said.
black women make
Okay,
all the
she said,
time.
I actually think some black men have very high standards for black women, but will lower for non-black women. They will tolerate more too, especially if she is spicy versus black women is aggressive, basically. Yeah, but I
And
hear
I
what
think
you're
that it's the
saying.
opposite for black women. So they were like, well, I could have tolerated this with Tyrone. So let me stick with Tyrone rather than going with Jimmy.
Yeah, but you have to remember that you're on the outside looking in and judging what he's tolerating with that white woman. You know what I'm saying? Like we do that a lot because we're saying, oh, with me he didn't tolerate this, but with Jessica over there he's allowing this. You don't know what he's allowing. You really don't know because you don't live with Jessica. Huh?
Jessica throws plate and it's okay.
Yeah, but there's something else that
When
she
she's
does that
angry, she
you
throws
don't do.
plate.
Do you get what I'm saying? I'm just
Also-
saying, like,
Oh, sorry, just to add on top of that, I agree with E-Man, and also you can flip Maggie's point the other way.
100%.
So obviously, white women lusting black men isn't necessarily a good thing, but what that can do is enable a black man to get women from different races that, shall I say this? I mean, women of other races which are of an equal value to black women that wouldn't look at that black man, if it makes sense. So that's why they look outside, because they feel they can get better value in quotes than what's available. and what's available in their race. But yeah, that's oh gosh.
That's the passport mantra, bro.
Yeah, like
This isn't my opinion. I'm just
Too late.
Honestly, I just feel like sometimes we do kind of simplify certain things. Don't get me wrong. I do agree that sometimes that is the case. What Maggie and you just said, Jackie. But a lot of the time, I feel as though we're just not in a position to know. And we just assume that's the case. There's so many different things people do.
We generalize everything.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but you're
Typically-
basing an
typically
argument
black
on
women-
it, though. You know what I'm saying?
black women
You're
are-
basing an argument on it.
But there are so many black women. I'm like, girl, go and marry a Lebanese man. Look outside. Like, no, I want a black man. I want a black family.
Yeah.
There's a black man. I've tried. I tried. I'm going now. But black women there's so many high class, high valued black women that are waiting for their Prince Charming. And as a result, then they're highly qualified, and the black people say, oh, you're too qualified. You love your career over your relationships. You value that more. That's why you're single. And it's the complete opposite. A lot of the time, they are waiting for the black man to pick them.
You know what? Let me say what I was going to say that I didn't want to say before. which is that I think a lot of the time we conflate a black man. Big up the black man, you know I love you, but I'm being honest. We conflate a black man pursuing a relationship and a family with somebody and versus a black man having kids with somebody. A lot of these men are not saying to themselves, oh, look at this spicy white, or look at it, I want to have a family with them. Most black men...
Do.
Huh? You say they do?
They do.
Jackie,
So
how many
example,
of the... Wait, Jackie.
Sorry to cut you.
How many
Perfect
black
example,
men have you spoken
the lady,
to? Jackie, before you said
that
they
man,
do.
Twitch, rest in peace.
Jackie, you
Rest
said
in
they
peace.
do.
He's
Jackie,
a prime example of interrelational relationships where
Jackie.
black women are now like, if you marry a black person, this is going to happen.
Jackie,
Stacey, jump in. Good morning, Stacey.
this is the reason why.
Hey, don't finish that. Don't finish that.
But say
Finish it, man.
No.
Say what's on your chest.
No, but what I was going to say, all I was going to say is, but this is the reason why sometimes we listen to stuff and then we don't listen to it. Because the reality is, you said something didn't base on anything. How many black men have you had the conversation with to say no, they do? I'm telling you, yeah, based on stats, a lot more black men have black wives, right? But
yeah,
you've thrown this away.
It's two different stats. It's two different stats, E-Man. I'm not talking about that.
I know that. But I'm speaking to the psyche. I'm speaking of the psyche. Because the ones that do, it speaks to the psyche of someone to say, I will stay and look for continually. Those that didn't, right? Are you looking at fam? Oh my goodness. You can't just keep saying they do. You have to tell me why you know they do.
I'm going to get you stats.
Right,
also,
cool.
sorry.
And also, Jackie, right? Also, Jackie, again, are these black men having families, bona fide families, because the women that you're talking about, from what you're saying, again, from what you are saying, you're saying that these black women are staying put and saying, I'm waiting for a black man to have a family with. When you see a black man out there, sometimes, again, I'm not trying to disparage my brothers, but the reality is, because we know from the stats, right? A lot of these black men are not having these families. They're having children. You see what I'm saying?
Disagree.
So
But
we can't conflate the black man in the park with a kid that he's only saw today. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I get you're saying that. But
Okay, then.
however, some black women just want even kids. Let me have a kid with you. At some stages in life,
Alright,
rather than freezing my eggs, let me have that kid with you. Someone's 39. Their eggs are, people talking about their biological clock is going. Let me have that kid with you, the same one that's riding in the park with their little mixed race child.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about the stats of the majority of black men. I'm talking about the majority of interracial relationships are done by black men, not black women. So maybe only 10% of black men date outside. But then when you look at the pool of interracial relationships, which is maybe 1 million, majority of that is done by black men. But this is only in the black community we're talking about.
All right.
You get the point?
Yeah,
The
I
difference.
understood what you're saying, but it's just a case of I'm not too sure. It's very easy to say that these are full blown family settings when it could just be the man just had a kid, and I don't always think, because personally, if I'm being honest with you, personally, I'm trying to think of anyone I know personally, right, that has said to themselves, I've tried for 5 to 10 years to find a black woman, and I couldn't, so I've gone to a white woman or an Asian woman. I've not had the conversation with anyone I know. You know
That's because you're not in that circle.
No,
You only
yeah,
hang around
I
black
think
people.
this is?
huh?
You know what
Sorry,
I think
Stacey.
this is?
Speak to us,
I just
Stacey.
think-
Good morning.
Good morning. I just think those who do decide to dabble, in the mountains of Caucasus,
There we go.
do so maybe not for specific, like 5 specific reasons. I think this is why sometimes this conversation can go round and round and round, because we try to limit it to 5 things and apply it with a paintbrush to every situation. But I think that it comes from them finding the shortcomings of their personal experience with their own race in other people. And that's not to say that everyone within the black community does that. But let me give an example. I think one thing black people, men and women, need to do better about is holding themselves accountable for why maybe sometimes we avoid each other. Because I think there's valid reasons on both sides. I'll start with women. Women, please do not get your panties in a twist. I'm just going off an example that I said in the chat just a few seconds ago. I was saying, someone made a comment about men, something about one being more expensive than the other. And I had said that I think black women, black men pursue outside of black women because black women are more expensive to date. Sorry, when the whole entire thing that we've been talking about when it comes to dating, building a family, both ends of the spectrum starts with finances a lot. As black women, oh, he doesn't have money, I'm making X, Y, Z, why would I even tolerate him? Like, a lot of the times it starts with those very aesthetic-y things. Mm-hmm. Why would you be upset when he finds companionship in a white woman if that's what he's looking for, outside of his finances?
Yeah.
And vice versa. I think there are things, and this is not me what's the word, defending men, because that's not what I'm doing. I think there are a lot of other things that men, when it comes to black women, need to do. Like, I think that black women starting with things like finances is, in my opinion, a trauma response, because if nothing else, if I'm going to get cheated on, talk to like I'm crazy, have somebody who's, tries to gaslight me into this, whatever Kevin's talking about, obedience and being led and all this nonsense, and can't even not provide for the home, but like can't even, when someone said in another conversation, having provision outside of finances, like, you're not a good partner. You don't give me emotional security. You don't, like, you can't even do the other things outside of finances that creates a healthy relationship. If nothing else, I'm gonna leave here with something. That's where that comes from. And it just ends up being a back and forth of just operating from traumatic past experiences and generalizations about each other that makes people then look outside.
So, Stacey, can I add to that?
Yeah.
the exact point you've made is a downfall for that's women want provision, isn't it? So that's their 9 out of 10 man. Whereas on the converse, a black man would say, why am I putting up with XYZ when I can get it from somewhere else? And that I would get peace. If that providing is a big thing for women outside of finances as well. There's so many other things. So where black women are putting up with certain things from their black men, the opposite would be that a black man would say, why would I have to put up with that? Let me just go somewhere where there's peace. And let me stick to the Asian girl that I know, etc., etc. Not generalizing again, but there are times when black women overly stay for certain things. So finances, especially if you're a qualified woman, it's not that sometimes they want a man to pay for it. It's like, if I don't, we're going to be competing, and that will strike your ego. We'll then have to go to a lesser place that I can actually afford. There's so many other things that then sometimes black women should look outside their race if they're looking for certain things, but they don't. They put up with certain things.
But honestly, I think that, and maybe I should have clarified this when I said my initial point. I don't necessarily think women, and I don't want this to sound like I'm contradicting myself because I'm not. Hear me out. I don't think women are wrong when they have those. Like if you're somebody who, let's say you're a woman who earns 6 figures plus, like let's put a number to it. Let's say you earn $150,000 a year, right? Like naturally you're going to be used to a certain lifestyle where, you know, maybe you would hope that your partner earns equal or greater to than you, not because you think you're looking down on people who make less, but because you don't want to. It could be from a place where, you know, there are women who you know, I don't want him to feel insecure. They have real reasons for that. Like, I don't want that to breed some type of insecurity in my relationship when I'm used to a certain lifestyle. I don't want to have to dim that in order to meet him where he's at. Like, that's very valid. I think everybody should go where what best serves their needs and lifestyles. But that doesn't mean we have to clash all the time. I think we end the conversation at this. Well, you know, somebody said, well, what do you mean by Black women being expensive? I'm not generalizing all Black women are expensive, but I think we sometimes exclude ourselves from good men because we focus on things like finances, where men also do the same thing when they exclude themselves from good women when you're focused on nonsense things like, oh, she wears lashes, she wears wig. Bro, does she look good? Cut the shit, bro. Like, he might not have the money, but is he a good man?
As well.
Like, what are we talking
If it
about? Like,
does.
we exclude ourselves when we focus on some of the metrics that we, and honestly, in the grand scheme of things, don't really qualify a good relationship. That's my take.
Okay. Jackie, what's your thoughts?
There are a couple other people here.
Okay, yeah.
There is Christy and there is OTRAL SAC.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
Good morning, guys. Talk to us.
Hi, I've been in a meeting, so a lot has happened. So I feel like the conversation just moved all over the place. Because I'm now confused as to where to even start this conversation now. Because now we're talking about finances and dating.
No, bring it back to the original. No, so Stacey, the whole point was sometimes it's proximity. So it's not that everyone wants validation within the community they're in, but sometimes I then brought it to schools. If you're in schools are where a lot of our communities are formed, our own personal communities, isn't it? Because if you've got church, that's, you know, ingrained and it's a natural one. If you've got family, it's a community that you've found that you're naturally in. But if you go to certain schools, you'd want to be validated by the people in those schools. And then we spoke about, like, I'm forgetting now, actually, what kind of black man, what some black men want versus what they can find intentionally if they went to look out for black women, and how some black women are still on the shelf looking for a black man. Whereas a black man will say, I tried a little bit and now I'm going to go to the person that's the nearest to me, which makes sense. That's absolutely fair. But on the flip side, there's a lot of black women that are still single in their late 30s that are waiting for the black man. And then there's a conflating of the fact that sometimes black women are they have higher standards that they want met before they date the black man, etc., etc.
Okay. Chrissy? Jackie just brought us up to speed.
So I don't even know what to say. There's so much to gather from this whole conversation. I guess for me, my commitment to being with a black guy supersedes anything. And some may say that's very silly of me. I don't really care, because generally that's how much I love myself and black people. I've said it so many times. So my question is, when certain people be like, oh, I can't get this from so and so I'm gonna go outside. Again, I've said this before, me personally, if you really actually like being with a black person, I don't know that taking that extra step to say I'm going outside to look for something. To me baffles me.
Let's answer. Someone asked this question: if you had a 6 out of 10 black man, and then a 9.5 out of 10 Asian man, Lebanese man, bit of spice, who would you pick? So 6 out of 10 black man, that's a bit extreme. 7 out of 10 black man, and then a 9.5 out of 10 Lebanese man. Who would you pick?
Okay, but what scales are we using this match? Doing this 6 out of 10? I need to know the scales.
No, your personal value of what you want in a man, whether it's compatible. This is everything. They're both good for you. They're both nice, but one is 7 out of 10 when you tick certain boxes that you need, and the other is 9.5 out of 10. Sorry, 7 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10.
The whoever insert whoever from whichever race is null and void for me, because it's a null and void for me. I weren't looking there anyway. So he can be the nicest of the nicest. He could have got a good job. Fine. I'm not looking there, because already we are at a deficit, because he's not of me and I'm not of him. Culturally, we're not aligned. I'm sorry.
And that's what a lot of black women do, whereby they wouldn't have ventured there to even know that he's 9.5 or 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. They wouldn't have seen it in the first place. They wouldn't have asked the question, went on the date. I
wouldn't even know, because I'm not looking there. I'm looking for within, because that's what I want.
Can I ask a question just based on our response? I think a lot of men actually do have a similar mentality where they also do write off like women outside the race as well. But I guess how do I word this? With like the whole European beauty standard stuff, I do wonder, is black women's, well, what I'll say is black men's desire to be with black women is just their preference usually, as opposed to like a commitment, whereas black women seem to have a commitment to black men. And you can maybe ask a question, is that right? Is that too much? Is that whatever? But I guess my question is, with the whole European beauty standard stuff, is black women's desire to be with black men driven by their love for black men or limited options outside of the race?
No, we've just met white people.
I'm sorry, that question is funny to me again.
Why?
So wait, it's funny to me because why would I be viewing it from the lens of if I'm attracted to other races, that's why I'm not going there? I don't view it in that lens. I don't care.
The question is valid.
But Christy, you're different though, innit? Like you are BOE.
Yeah.
Like you live
no, but
BOE.
That question to me is very wild to me personally.
Yeah, but that's to you. That's because to
the
you,
question is actually valid.
You see a black world, innit?
So,
You know what I'm saying?
Can Stacey answer that? Sorry, because I want to hear Stacey's. Because you said we've seen white men. Is it you've seen them how they treat you? So therefore, we're coming back home.
No,
that's what she meant.
Can we clarify? You're asking are black women's commitment to being to dating or desiring black men, is that out of genuine interest for black men, or is it about limitations based on white beauty standards? That's the question, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah.
Okay, my answer to that is no. My commitment to wanting a black man stems from me seeing white. It's mind-boggling to me beyond, I think the other personal characters about the specific men that black women end up falling for that are white makes them turn the coin. But for me, I can't, even on a surface level, I can't find attraction in a white man. Not just on how you look, but like the way white people grow up and operate their households and how that impacts their mind is so mind-boggling to me. Down to the way you cook, down to the way you go about hygiene, down to how you raise their children is disturbing to me. Like, I absolutely can't fathom breeding with them.
What about Lebanese person whose their culture is a little bit more similar? They're respectful, they're this, they're that. Is someone outside the black culture but not white, not European?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not gonna assume. Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't, because to me, that's just a spicy white. But I wouldn't off rip be attracted. To my point earlier about the black women who do it, there's probably something personal to that person and their characteristics and their lifestyle and all their traits that that piques their interest. Love that for them, and their household. But as far as me and my household, probably not.
So can in rebuttal to that question, by that metric, are we now saying the black men are just out here just for anything then? If you're saying the reason why the question to the women is the black women, oh, it's the reason why you don't, it's because you're not they're not attracted to us. On the flip side, the black men are saying, yeah, they'll take it because they're attracted to us. That's why we're going there.
The exact question, you can put black men and substitute it for black women, and the same question would stand and be just as valid. Like, are black men are desiring white women or non-black women because they don't find that black women desire them, or what their interpretation of desire and what that looks like isn't necessarily being projected by black women. I'll hear that question.
Someone said that in the chat, and they said black women are looking for tall guys, the LeBron James, and not him because he's short. So maybe that is a yes for the men.
I think that's 1,000% true. Black women typically are looking for a man who is 6 foot plus, who is making over 6 figures, who is emotionally available, is not on social media. Like, the things that black women say out of their mouths that they look for in men is equally ridiculous to the things that men say they look for in women. We just are unwilling for some reason on both sides to hold ourselves accountable for it. We're all being ridiculous together.
I disagree, Maybe it's the age thing, but I disagree because I think so the guy said short. I know loads of people that are married short men, and short men that are married, but maybe the short men should look for short women as well, because there's loads of short women. But
it may happen that way, but it probably wasn't what they were looking for.
Yeah.
And I think that is also in relation to, and maybe it's an American thing, I'll take that. Yeah. I think that says a lot about the age that we as women, black women and black people at least in America, marry versus our white counterparts marry. Like you just said, it might be an age thing. Maybe it's something that it takes us time and maturity to realize what both parties are looking for is ridiculous. And when we finally come to terms with our nonsensical mindsets and start maturing and putting actions to that maturity in terms of what we look for, that's when we start getting serious and start finding serious candidates and start abandoning some of those aesthetic things that we were looking for when we were younger. I'll take that. White people, not so much the case.
In my late 30s, and women are just, let me just find a good man. That's what late 30s are doing. Let me just find a man that has a job. I don't mind.
I think our non-black counterparts are doing that from early. That's why they're getting married earlier.
Maybe, yeah. I also think what we're saying about, not to bring back the schools, but the social networks is very important. So if I'm in the right social networks in the beginning, I can pick anyone from there. So if I'm in the right place with my people in the beginning, then anyone will do, short, height, whatever, because I know that you've got the same mindset as me. But you're right. I think maybe the non-blacks women, I don't know, are looking for attraction. Physical is not their main priority.
Someone in the chat said, I agree, but only because I'm tall. My man has to be a certain height. Short black women, I don't get it. When I say these things, I know that I don't speak caution for the things that I'm not mentioning all the time. That doesn't mean that some of those things aren't baseless. I just think a lot of them are baseless and overlook some of the things that probably, if we applied base to them, we'd be in a lot better positions. I'm not mad at someone who is tall, who wants a tall man.
Yeah, that's different. That's completely different.
I am though judging a woman who works at McDonald's looking for a CEO, and the same vice versa. I'm not judging.
Big facts.
I'm not. And no, the same applies the other way around, because people will say I'm treating out women.
It's true.
I'm not
Both
judging
ways.
a man who is I don't lost my point, but you get it. I'm not judging a man who has a college degree, saying I only want to entertain a woman of a certain ilk in terms of education. But I am judging the man who has no car, no job, and is looking for a educated, thought-provoking woman to hold him down.
Hey,
are you silly?
Can we have standards?
And that's my point. We can all have standards, but I just think on both sides we need to be realistic about them, understand how that might be the reason why people look elsewhere. And that doesn't mean that Black people in general do not have those standards within our race. No, but also you have to think about what's around them, what's accessible to them, or what individually that person might be looking for. I think, at least in my experience, the Black men that I know date white women. It doesn't shock me, because what they've been around, not just growing up, but like the type of women who are around them and like what their values are. I work in entertainment. I deal with a lot of Black men who date white women. There are the Black men who date white women for status purposes and the optics of it and what that affiliates them to, the wrong side of the coin based on this conversation. But there also are a lot of Black men that I've met that date white women for the opposite reason. The Black women in this space are also trying to chase a certain type of man that doesn't align with their interests in a relationship. They want a companion. What I make shouldn't matter to you. I might have it. These are very wealthy men. They got the money. But it's about the woman's mindset. The bag is your priority before we even get to know each other as individuals and see if we could be good partners to each other. So simply because of that, I'm flicking you out of the running. Stay away from me. And I don't think they're wrong for that on both sides.
So you gave the example of the man, the Black man that isn't doing it for validation purposes. What else do you see him doing it for?
What do you mean? I just said it. Sometimes it's about, we as women, like I said earlier, exclude ourselves when we lead with things like, how tall are you? How much are you making? Do you have a good job? What do you do? To them, it's like, okay, I want someone who's more forward about different things. Like, are we compatible personally? Do we have the same values outside of finances? Are we good companions to each other? I've actually met men who are like that, who, when it comes to finances and all the other prerequisites that Black women require, a lot of them meet them, some of them don't, but they share that one thing in common. Like, I'm looking for a woman who I could actually be a partner to, and we could be partners to each other. They don't get there because a lot of these women are filtering them out, Black or white, honestly, are filtering them out based on things like finances, height, whatever. Men are doing the same thing, but I hope you get my gist.
Good morning, Snowstorm.
And what I said earlier about white women and the difference between, someone said, don't get it confused.
Morning. I don't
white women
think
also
my thing's
worry about
working, my sound. I can't hear anything coming through.
Damn.
Awkward.
We can hear you though. Obviously you can't hear us say that.
Yeah, she heard me.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I just can't hear any sound coming through. So yeah, hi.
Good morning.
I just wanted to add on to the conversation we're having. I understand the argument that some people may date outside of their race based on certain experiences they've had. But I think, and this is completely from my perspective and my point of view, I think it's not that complicated. It's not that, I don't know what, it's not that deep, you know. Sometimes you just fall in love and you may have more in common with a different race than another, and it happens. You don't think about it and it happens, and you know, that's life. You're not going to stop what your heart's saying to you just because of the color of the skin. I mean, that is ridiculous. Like, I mean, come on, like what are we doing here? I understand the point of wanting to be everything pro-Black, but I think when it comes to the matter of love, I think there needs to be a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of leg room there.
Can I ask
Sorry, could I ask
questions on that?
Liz, where you? Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, so I wanted to ask what area you are in, if it's in England.
Okay, so I think
Midlands.
if you're in London, you class it as up north.
Yeah. So where are you in London? From London?
No.
No, she's up north.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. So you're up north, right?
Yeah.
And are there a lot of Black people where you are?
There actually is. Yeah, there's a few Black people. I have dated Black men and other races. And I have a lot in common in terms of like comfortability, familiarity with the Black men. We just know our struggles, we just get each other. And sometimes it's nice just to be with that. But at the same time, I have a lot of great experiences with different races and a lot of a different perspective, and we have the same kind of humor because of what I like to watch, they like to watch, and just little things like that. And recently, I would say that I think it's okay to be pro-Black, but I personally think that if you don't let yourself open for the possibility of finding love, because love comes in different ways, not just in race, just it comes in different ways. And if you don't open your world to other possibilities, you may just be injuring yourself from what could be, you know.
I hear you, Snowstorm. So I guess
sorry, what I was
Izzy.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, based on, I guess, the response, it seems love is like the main driver for what you think people's decisions should be. I'd just ask, would you have that same approach to a Black man or Black woman that came to you and said, in my pursuit of love, my preference is non-Black? Would you view that the same as someone that is open and just happens to date outside their race?
Yeah, but you're not open because you just said non-Black. So like Snowstorm is, I'm open to anyone. So I'm not limiting myself to just, and then maybe Chrissy's saying, no, I'm limiting myself. So the pool I'm going to look for is going to be in pool A. Whereas Snowstorm is like, I'm just going to look here. And the example you've made is the Black man saying, I'm also just going to look there. So you've limited,
outside their race.
Intentionally limited herself. She said it. She said, I don't care. I'm exclusively dating within my race. But then the example you gave, that person's intentionally only dating outside their race.
I'm saying, do we see that as worse than someone being open? I do, just to put it out there.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is that a lot of, I guess, Black men in this example would hide behind the whole I'm being open, when really they are just being intentionally dating outside of the race exclusively. So I think although like love should ideally drive people's decisions, I feel that's kind of been co-opted by Black men just to date outside their race and justify it.
I personally don't think that I'm going to be offended by someone's preference. If a person prefers to date outside their race, then I mean, it's not going to benefit or worsen my life. Like, they're not the king of a country. Do you mean like, and even if they were, like, how does that affect my life? If they're not open to the possibility of dating within their race because maybe they want to have a mixed race kid, or they perceive that being with a white woman means that they've reached a certain level of accomplishment, then that's great. That's what they want to do. And I'm not going to use that as a way of saying that, I mean, there's an argument there, I suppose, to say that if that is their intention, then why is that? Is there some level of self-hate there? I mean, there is that argument, I suppose, but I mean, I'm not going to be angry at someone for their preference. You know, there are people who just want to date Black people, and that's fine. And I think when it comes to preference, I don't think it has anything negative, really. I think if that's your preference, that's how you want your family to be, your generations to be, then, you know, okay.
So for you, yeah, that's not a priority for you, though, right? You're more so about the experiences that you share and everything that you can kind of grow together.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did want to ask though, yeah, those experiences that you've maybe been open to by dating outside of your race, are those things that you couldn't have got with a Black man?
Okay, this is going to sound even more controversial, but I don't see, well, within context, when it comes to love, I actually don't see race.
Okay.
I don't, like, I mean, I used to be that girl when I was much younger, when I'm like, I'm only dating a Nigerian man, and he has to be from this tribe. I can't date like thinking about the things I used to say to myself is crazy. I was like, I can't date anyone that's not Igbo. Like, so anyone that's Igbo, like it has to be either a Yoruba man or this, that. Like I was specific when I was that age. And growing older and just like being open to more experiences and dating Igbo men and dating other African men and dating white men. And, you know, I would say that I've reached a point in my life where when it comes to love, I choose not to see race. I just choose to see personality or characteristics, just things that I am drawn to, simply because when I was younger, I limited myself on a specific tribe. And I wonder if I had opened more to other possibilities, if I would have found love sooner, you know.
I definitely get what you're saying, but what does that look like? So, for example, if a Yoruba man came to you today, would you feel as though you could potentially be wasting time with him, and potentially you'd rather spend that time getting to know somebody from outside of your race? Does that ever come into your mind, like, he could be like the rest, so I'd rather keep my options open and date others? Or is it literally a man is a man, and if they're good looking and they approach me, I'll give them a try?
Yeah, a man is a man for me at my grown-ass age. I ain't got time to be like, nah, a man is a man. And if we have certain things in common, and it's not even about looks, like, it really isn't about good looking. It's more about certain personalities and certain characteristics. And if they get my vibe, and if we're on the same vibe and, you know, whatever, then yeah, I'm open to it and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I'm like, oh, because that one didn't work out, then I can never date. Do you mean that tribe? Like, nah. When I was younger, I used to be that girl. But now that I'm a lot older, I just think, I honestly think that you're injuring yourself by not just letting yourself be. Like, just be, just be, and just see what happens, you know. What happened? Who knows? And maybe God wants you to do another race. You literally don't know, you know.
I hear you. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate that.
I want to add to that as well. No, this is Toyin.
Oh, good morning, Toyin. How are you?
Come on. Good morning,
It's
everyone.
been a while.
It's been a while. We thank the Lord. I wanted to add to that. I think with what Snowstorm is saying, similar paths. I was at once like, I just want to date a Yoruba man, and that's it. As I'm growing older, and sort of allowing my pool to open as well, I'm more open to other races. And going back to the question that Izzy raised of, if this person was 9 and if this person was 7, but Black, who would you choose? And right now, I would choose the person who's 9 and another race, because right now I value peace and I value joy and I value in ways love more than ideally race. But that's because of where I am right now in life. And I do believe like love is a choice and you have to be intentional about that. And with that mindset as well, there's a part of my life that me personally, I think with having to be intentional about who I choose to be with and who basically in other ways like builds up my future and what my future will look like. I think a lot of us, because of the silos we choose to live in and the opportunities we've gotten by being in the West, with being intentional about love and things like this, we have to be open to putting ourselves into rooms that will find what we're looking for. So if you're strictly just looking for Black, have you ventured outside of where you grew up or where you've lived for the last 10 years to find that? Or are you staying in your community and saying, I haven't found love and I'm still looking for this Black man and blah, blah. Maybe start going to places where you'll find Black successful men or Black men who are doing the things that you want but are not in your community. Look outside of that if that's what you want to be intentional about. But if you're not that intentional about venturing outside of your community and where you are and where you're going and what you've known, then you can't continue to say, I'm choosing and what's in my community is not working and Black men and like you can't just keep saying things like that if you haven't ventured outside of it. Me personally, I still hope that I'm able to connect with a Yoruba Nigerian man who values culture and wants that for our future kids and wants to grow up and have our future be a certain way. However, if I don't find that and I find someone who makes me happy, makes me just at ease and feel at home in a way, but is not of that same cultural value, but in a way also doesn't diminish my culture, like also takes it on as their own because he's taking me as his own, then I will happily be in that relationship.
Is that possible?
But that's where I am currently.
Firstly, you'll find a Yoruba man, don't worry.
Amen.
And secondly, is that possible for somebody from another race to take on your culture like it's his own?
Yes. You see the white men that speak Yoruba and basically choose to reside in Nigeria as a choice, not necessarily. I mean, these are few, but it's possible. It's not impossible. There's people that do it for love. Again, love is a choice. If I choose to love you and this is your culture and this is what you value more than anything in this world, I choose to take you on and take parts of your culture. We just spoke about the picture of Eve and how she's dating this white man. That's his culture, to sit at a family table and do things like that. She's taking on his culture. It may not be visually appealing, but she's taking it on as a choice.
All right, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Who else is it?
Is it because my voice is not as nice as Toyin? Because I don't understand. I said the same thing.
She did say the same thing, and that's why I dropped from the stage because I was like, she said exactly what I needed to say.
People, so.
Very well said. Agreed. But damn.
Good morning, Veronica.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute.
Hear me?
Is it you, Veronica?
Yes, this is me. Where is the truth?
Thank God.
He's been waiting for time.
I'm not wearing my bulletproof today, you know. Oh, we're joking, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm fine, man. I don't know how I'll be now, but I'm joking. I'm even better now, man. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning to the ladies in the chat. Looking beautiful. Chocolate. Anyway, so we're gonna go back on the topic, right? Was this something that you created?
Yeah. We can't hear you too well, you know.
You can't hear me too well. Hold on.
Yeah.
What about now? Can you hear me?
It's far better.
Yeah, sorry. I said good morning to the ladies. I don't know if they heard me. All the beautiful ladies on the panel, looking good, melanated.
Come on.
Shout out to all of you. Okay. So, Eman, so that title, did that come from you?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, you always have interesting titles. So
Thank
basically, that's your mindset. When you see interracial relationships, you're wondering whether they're looking for validation or what was the other one?
Or is
attraction?
It genuine attraction, yeah. But it kind of came from the clip that we played first. Did you see the clip?
Okay. No, because I'm just left work, so I'm going to another office. But what I could say is, as a woman, how we think. Well, let me speak for myself. I don't want to generalize. validation solely comes from me. So I don't seek validation from outside when I'm entertaining a guy or a girl. And what was the other one? Attraction.
Yes.
Attraction is not based on the color of the person's skin.
Okay.
It's their charisma, it's their character, it's their
Confidence.
enthusiasm when it comes to life. Even though we see how it is pretty terrible at the moment. So yeah, that would be my answer towards that topic that you've asked. But I sincerely think that you kind of want to be with a white woman, but you don't know how to say it.
Jesus.
To me.
Yeah, you.
Maybe you have a point. Maybe. Oh no, man. Maybe I need to put out.
You sure about that? Because in your homie, Dr. Uma Johnson.
Yes.
Isn't he in Ghana right now?
Yeah, with black women.
Yeah, with a 304 black woman.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what he kind of likes.
How did you relate that to?
Do you not know what 304 means?
No, I don't think he knows, Stacey.
With a 304. What's a 304?
It's not an area code.
I thought you said 3 or 4.
Yeah, he thought it was a polygyny.
Yeah, I thought you said 3 or 4.
No, Stacey, he's in Ghana with 304s from the state. That's what he likes to mess with.
304
strippers and so and so.
Is hoe.
Yeah.
If you reverse it and flip it, it's hoe. It's code for hoe.
Yeah, but I mean, he might want the hoe in America too. Why can't he have one in Ghana?
But she's one of his co-wives. Because you know he's got so many co-wives all over the globe.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I can't allow you to slander him. He's not married.
Thank you. Yeah, but you didn't answer the question. I think sincerely you are attracted to white women. You don't know how to say it. Because you play this Pan-Africanism, you know, I'm a black man, the black community, blah, blah, blah. But you really want to be with a slow bunny, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I wasn't expecting this.
I agree.
What? Who the hell said that?
Yeah, who said that? Yeah, join in. He agrees.
No, sorry, I've just caused a mayhem on Friday.
This is why I gave you the ether. Veronica, listen. I don't even know where you pulled this from, you know, because I wasn't expecting this. This is amazing.
I think someone who talks about race constantly wants to be with the other race. And there's nothing wrong with trying a different flavor. Like Walker's, for instance, I used to bang out the barbecue one, but until I got bored of it, I wanted the ready salted, the prawn and cocktail. So I think that's how it should be, you know, when you like someone.
Maybe the
I
fourth
think it's
one. Maybe when I get to the fourth one, then maybe I'll make that a Caucasian.
Yeah, and then you talk about the systematic problems that black people go through, but you still kind of fit into the same agenda, which is the racism, right? That's the psychology that they've created. But you're kind of a racist in a way because you shun black people who want to be with other races or black people who want to be with the same sex. So that's why I asked you, do you sometimes feel like you have a superior complex?
Okay, so this is where this is coming from. Do you remember what I said earlier?
Where is it coming from? I just asked you a question, darling.
Yeah, don't worry. Your question will be answered. I never dodge a question. You know this already.
Are you sure?
100%. Never does anything in life. All right, first thing. This is where it's come from. So this has come from you basically believing that I have an issue with black people having relationships with non-blacks and also with same-sex relationships as well. So because you obviously engage in both, right? Because obviously you mentioned that earlier, right?
Fuck man.
I can't be defeated, you know.
Really?
So because you engage in both and you want to represent that community, right? They've sent you to come get me, yeah? This is why you're saying, let me slander him and say that's what he secretly wants. You know what the thing is? If I secretly wanted that, yeah, or if I wanted that, like you guys are saying, I don't think it'll be a problem for me to want that. There's plenty. I mean, we saw at the end of last year that video of all those successful black men with a lot of mixed race children. I don't think anyone would care within reason. So to suggest that I would secretly want that, and that's the reason why I'm against interracial relationships, that's insane. I'm not against anyone doing anything now. Like when I was younger, I used to think, why did people do this and why did people do that? Now, honestly, like I said to Brent, I think it was just yesterday, I don't entertain the idea that everyone can be saved. I literally believe you find your tribe and do the best with what you can do. Marcus Garvey said it best. There are black people right now, where we are, who are whatless and do nothing. I have no interest in taking them back home to Africa because they'll be whatless and doing nothing back home too. I don't waste my time with conversations and things that don't make no sense. The reason why we talk about these things, right, is because we have a problem within the black community where we're not finding our own for various reasons. And when we do find our own, we don't stick with our own for various reasons. So this is the question. And so we have to ask ourselves, why is it that the people leave our community to go and start families with other communities? Don't we realize that if we have none of us wanting ourselves, that will be a crazy epidemic for the next generation? Don't we know that all of this manifests itself in different ways? Don't we recognize that all the issues that we talk about today, wanting representation here, there, and all over the damn place, is because we don't even love ourselves? It's because the thing that you see in yourself, you don't even want it. You want so badly to be part of the institution that doesn't want you. Then you beg them for representation in that place. Doesn't make sense. I don't live that way. I believe in doing for self, loving self. That is unequivocally the fact of the matter. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know where you got that from, Veronica. That could have worked with somebody else, but me.
Well, thank you for answering that. But however, you're not perfect. We're not perfect because we still judge a book by its cover, and that title is shouting judging a book by a cover.
Okay, again, so this is why you didn't like it. Because you felt as though it attacked you in both situations.
And that's okay if I didn't like it. What do you mean? Why do you always bring me personally? Don't get too emotional with this conversation.
I'm not emotional.
It's a general convo.
Yes, 100%.
I don't know why you're involving me in it.
Veronica, it's about you.
It's not about me.
You made it about you.
How?
By saying what you said. You said, I am against this, I am against that. Both the this and the that is what you subscribe to. You've made it clear. That's the correlation.
For about 5 minutes. Every time someone asks you a question, you preach.
Well, you told me I'm dodging
just
the question.
answering the question.
So you're saying I dodged the question.
Now that you've answered it, I've accepted it. And then I said that the title that you've highlighted still states that we still judge people by their cover. I didn't even exclude myself. I said as people in general, we still do judge the book by its cover.
Yep, like you said, no one's perfect.
But
we have to look at the cover and assess why it is that we always choose those covers.
I think one of the ladies want to say something. Was that Stacey? Who's that?
No, it's me. It's Toyin.
Go on, Toyin.
For Iman.
Yes.
Would you or do you have the desire to ever live back home in Nigeria, like full time?
Yeah, at some point in my life, yeah.
Okay, because what you said, it always like whenever these conversations come about, it always like boggles me how immigrants can sort of have that logic that you just had of like, we come and we're looking for our place in a white man, or we're trying to adapt to the white man, when we choose to live in their country and be around their people. But ideally, if you have that mindset, isn't home the best place for you to be because you're around your people 24/7?
100%.
And these conversations won't come up.
That's
you won't have the battle with, okay, I have like Black men are not choosing white women per se, even though that's becoming a pandemic type conversation in those places. But you're surrounded by more of your people, that conversation wouldn't come up because you only have your people to choose from.
100%.
But yet we're here in their country.
That's a great question.
And we're saying this.
That's a great question. But we're here. Why are we here? We're here because they came over.
No, I get the history.
Yeah, no, but you have to understand that that's the context. I was complaining about being in the code earlier at the beginning of the show. I'm an African man. My blood tells me stay back there. But my parents came back here because over there they destroyed. Our parents were alive during colonization. It's just yesterday. Yesterday. So when we're here looking for a better life, because again, economics is life. Life is economics. A hungry man is an angry man. We have to look for better things. So I have every right to go to my so-called Commonwealth country, which is pillaged, raped, and stealed everything for mine, right? Still doing it today. Look at France, right? And take as much as I can. Pool resources with like-minded people. Go back home when I can. Like I said, I have every intention to go back home. I wish that we all could, but let's do what we
wish
can.
we all did.
Yeah, 100%. But some people have to go at different times because there's certain things here where we have every right to reap all the things that we're sowing in this fertile land, and it's fertile because of you and I.
Right.
That's
I
what I'm saying.
understand the
So.
background. No, I understand the background.
Yeah.
My
So
thing
that's
is,
the
I
reason
think
why
a
I'm
lot of
saying
us.
that. Sorry, say that again.
No, I'm saying I think a lot of us with that mindset though don't know when to go back home. Like if you're educated enough and you have the resources enough, why is it that you are trying to? And again, I understand the context, but why are you trying to build a community here instead of taking those resources and pulling all that education and knowledge and going back to build your community back home?
I hear you.
And we are still suffering.
I hear you, but it's. I think we have to be fair though, because some people do. I remember saying on the show before when I used to work in the bank. Yeah, there was one guy that used to come in all the time. Ghanaian man, big him up. He always used to come in and ask for I don't know, X amount of money in 50 notes. Got into conversation. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going back home. Then one day he withdrew everything in his account, and then we got into a conversation. He said, "Oh wow, I'm going back home, but I'm staying." I said, "Oh, is it?" He said, "Yeah." Then he told me the story about him. He's a social worker. He came to England with about 5 or 6 of his friends, each of them doing different things. He was a social worker, someone was a doctor, somebody was this. And he said, now we've got to the place that we intended. We're now going back home to better ourselves. So sometimes we look at certain people and say, why are you still here? Some of them are making that transition. Some of them also feel like, wait a minute, I don't have to go back because I'm here and I deserve to be here. I helped make this country what it is. For 20, 30 years, I'm giving taxes. I'm overtaxed, in fact, right? I'm doing everything I need to be doing to be here. I deserve the right to be here and yield from the ground as much as possible and for my kids to do the same. So I don't think it's necessarily a case of, if you have this mentality, go back home. I think it's a case of if you have this mentality wherever you are on the planet Earth, all 196,940,000 square miles, right? Black people deserve the right to choose for themselves because wherever we've been, people have taken from us. We deserve to be where we want to be and take and do for self. That's how I see it. It shouldn't be a case of only go back there. I think it should be a case of build with your own, but I think we can build with our own anywhere we choose.
Agree. Thank you. Just wanted to ask.
Talk about it.
When I used to ask that question when Ghanaian Americans would complain about Trump, etc., and say America's racist, America doesn't like us, and I always wonder, then go back home. But as Eman said, it's not as simple as that. But if you really think America's that bad and they're killing you, I literally used to think, then don't stay there. If you have the ability to move and work somewhere else, why don't you do that rather than complaining about the system? But I think to Eman's point, that's what the other person responded. It's not as easy as that.
Yeah.
And also people are allowed to build and entitled to build a community where they want to build a community, and they're allowed to be as intentional as they want to be as well.
Especially if you are responsible for that community even existing in the way it does. Imagine telling all black people in America to go back home. Imagine telling us, who make up the majority of the NHS, to go back home. Why?
I want to clarify that I'm not saying.
No, obviously, I know.
I'm just asking a question, but I totally agree with that sentiment. Like, even for me, my wish is to go back home. But I see the value in living in both places, but I see the value in taking what I've learned, the resources that this place has gotten me, and building those systems that they broke, essentially, back home, so we can have a place that has steady light. It's not a question of why should we go if it's not up to par, if it's not livable, if it's not, let's go back and build what we can to make it livable so that we have the option to go wherever we want. Because again, like you said, we have built in different places.
Facts.
But ideally there is value in building back home as well, and not just saying that it's not working. Take what you have, take what you've learned, go back, build and fix what you can, and go live wherever you want, build community wherever you want.
Yeah. Totally agree with you, man.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, TDA. What's
Come
going on?
Big up Kevin, man.
Come on.
Long time,
Happy
man.
New Year, my brothers. Happy New Year, kiddies. Happy New Year, TDA.
Happy New Year, man. How you been?
I'm all right, brother. I'm all right.
Good,
Living,
good.
loving, causing trouble. There I go.
Talk
But
to
yeah,
the
I
people,
thought I'd
man.
ring in and represent because the chat was saying calling. So I said calling. Let me give my vote. You know how I stay on this already. Listen, the deal on the table ain't been good. Yeah, there's an entire industry that's been generated now with the conversation about black men and black women and the relationships and women and men in general. Yeah, we understand this. This is what it is. A lot of the sisters now have got a very modern day view on what they want from a relationship. We already talked about that 0.2% desire, the 6 foot dude that's earning 6 figures and the 666. An ironic number, isn't it? Yeah, ironic number, innit, brother? Yeah, but we know that's what they want, and we know that is foolishness. It don't exist. And herein is the majority of the thing is the deal on the table ain't even being that offered, ain't even being that good. We tell you about what we do like and what we don't like in terms of hair, weaves, full frontals, lashes, the things that you lot find important that we don't find important. And all we get is pushback. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to do it, someone else will.
But Kevin, though, when it is though that sometimes we say these things, right, and we criticize and we say, listen, we don't like this, we're not interested in this. Are we saying it in the way where we actually want like something to be done about it, in a nice way, in a productive way, to yield the result that we want? Or sometimes can they see it as us bashing? Let's be honest.
Let's be real. You could men and women ain't the same, bro. We can take criticism. I can tell you, E-man, you're messing up. And you're gonna go away and take that on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say the same thing to Esther, and Esther's gonna get defensive. I got nothing but love for her, but I will say it as it is. I'll say it as it is. Yeah, I got the same thing with my girl. I can tell my girl, I can make food. And my girl could say, "Rod, that was a bit salty, babe. Next time I'll make it less salty." If I say that to her, she might not cook for 3 days.
Yeah, but Kevin, though.
Sorry, just to jump in. Yeah, the chat's asking, Kevin, you cook for your missus?
Well, yeah, of course I can cook. I cook for the family sometimes. Yeah.
Cool.
That's not modern.
I didn't say I don't. I think that the relationship has to be completely traditional all the time. It doesn't have to be completely traditional all the time, but most men want traditional aspects of women. Most men want that like cooking with Kaya right now exploded. You know the reason why? It's not just because she's shaking her ass. It's just because she comes across very feminine, friendly, and happy. Most men want simple things from women. And most men can't get them.
Or this generation don't know how to cook. And she's
even that as well. Tutorials. That's what I said when I said the deal on the table's poor. You can't expect us to still be signing bad deals. It's 2025.
Can I ask you an honest question? And I don't want to reignite gender wars. I just thought of this question in relation to what you were saying. All these things that you say, oh, women need to stop wearing 2 feet lashes. Women just wear their natural hair in order to attract a good man. If we flip the question, what are, not me giving you examples of things, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. Do you and other men do things to attract these women that you speak of, these good women that you speak of? And can you give us maybe 5 examples of what those things are, just so maybe we can gauge if we're at the same frame of thought?
That's the horn-worthy right there.
So I'll say this. Most of the time, men get involved with women and we hope that they're going to have a lot of our ideals. The way that the way that dating is structured in this current world that we live in, it is not really. We come into the relationship, we see what you're like, and then we try to adapt and flow with it. It's very rare that a lot of men put their desires on the table straight away.
But we're not there yet. we're talking about attraction, not in the relationship, because you said women are not wearing their natural hair, women are wearing 2 feet lashes. Those are aesthetic things. So maybe one of your examples can be aesthetic. Are you and other men doing aesthetic things or things before you even come to a relationship and find out who the woman is? What are you doing to attract these women? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you see, again.
No, we got this, Kevin. No, we got this. We got this.
Go ahead,
Stacey. They're taking steroids.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. One example is like, obviously, as men, we want women that are in good shape, health, for example. So one thing could be us going to the gym to work on ourselves. Another thing is obviously progression in our jobs, so we get more money. A third thing could be, I don't know, getting new experiences, so we're more interesting to women. A fourth thing could be, I don't know, being family men. So obviously we want to be good family men for our own benefits, but also we know that women are attracted to men that are loving to their parents, for example. And a fifth thing could be, I don't know, good at bed. I don't know. Just, yeah. I mean, there's lots of things men do to attract the right women.
Everything we do is to attract the right women.
Everything
Most of it ain't for us.
Good men. Yeah.
I'm joking.
Most of it ain't for us. Most of it ain't for us. Most of the stuff that we like to extent. Most men will live in caves, quite content with their PlayStation 5 and decent food and a nice sized TV. Like, we do most of the stuff we do to attract you lot.
I hate that.
Just to add on that.
I appreciate your effort answering the question, but I really wanted Kevin to answer the question. But it's okay. You already.
I mean, you said men, so I just jumped in. I took the tag, and then yeah.
It's okay. I know where you're coming from. I wanted Kevin to answer, and not the example you gave. I wanted it to come from his own mind.
Stacey, when you mean what am I doing to attract them type of girls that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Well, you go to places, innit? But to be fair, you can only get what you can get as a man. Like, just because I might like something doesn't mean I can get it. See what I'm saying? So you take what's on the table. You don't really, and that might exclude certain women. So for me, I don't talk to women who wear multicolored weaves. I think they're like, it's a red flag to me. You're like a.
You keep focusing on women.
No, I am answering the question. I'm saying to you that
you're saying I'm not interested in women, but that's not the question. The question is, what do you do to attract? You just said, I take what's on I'm interested in what's on the table. Sometimes what I like isn't what I get. I'm not interested in those women who are not on the table. That was separate from the question. The question is, what do you do to attract those women that you speak of, you and men?
You just talk to them, the ones that you find attractive, the things that you like in, innit?
Anyway, I rest my case.
So what's wrong with women liking 6'6" dudes then? What's wrong with ladies liking the 6'6" dudes?
What work have you done on yourself, or do you do on yourself to make sure that the women you like you? I think that's what she's asking.
I'm not sure if she is, to be fair, but go on.
No, they understand the question.
That's the question, right?
I said
what
I
am I
rest my
doing
case
for myself?
because you already contradicted yourself. You in the answer that you gave, even though it wasn't in line with what I was asking, you said that you pursue women that meet your interest or things that you're interested in. How do you understand that, but you don't understand when women do the same? You comment on their lashes, their choice of hair. Like, I don't understand what you don't understand.
Because the majority of men don't like lashes. The majority of men don't like lashes. The majority of men don't like the false hair, the wigs, the weaves, the full frontals. The majority of men don't. So when you're saying that you're going after what you're going after what is a tiny percentage. What I said,
majority of women don't like short men. Majority of women don't like short men.
Exactly. I'm not sure.
I think it's just ironic. I think it's ironic that you say that as a way to as almost like how you feel like that should advise us on us not wearing wigs and lashes, but majority of women don't like men with your mindset. But here you are with your mindset. People should just do what they like. I don't understand.
You lot been doing what you like, and you lot are the ones complaining about black men not dating black women. And we tell you the reason, and this is what happens.
Okay.
You know,
So
I kind of
carry
agree
on,
with him on
enjoy
that
it.
one. Black women do
Enjoy it.
complain about black men not dating them. He
You
is
are
right
the
about
ones
that.
complaining. It's not us, you know. So when we give you the answer and you don't want to hear us, then don't hear us, innit? Buy
I
a
just
cat
think that
and
you
tag
don't have
along.
data. You don't have
That's the
data to
options,
back up your
innit?
facts.
So what,
I
Kevin?
don't need the data is unavailable. We've
I
got
don't need
shows left
data.
and right. We've got shows left and right talking about the relationships and how it's a struggle between black men and black women and how women are struggling to be able to get with men and get the men that they want. There is an entire culture built around it.
But you're
You don't
saying
get given the answers and you don't like
don't
the
like,
answer.
and black men don't date women who do these things. Yet I see all the time, most of the time, the black men that you're claiming do not like women who wear wigs, women who wear lashes, dating women who not only wear their natural hair but also wear wigs and lashes. So long as she looks good, that I think you're just louding up a very minority view, and that's okay.
It's not a minority view.
You.
It's a large amount of what
But
most men
Kevin, I
feel.
thought you was an alpha male. Why are you so concerned about women wearing fake lashes and fake hair? That's not what alpha men care about.
That's your impression of what alpha men care about.
No, it's not an
Because
impression. An
that's
alpha
not.
man only
No,
cares
no, no,
about
it
what's
is.
between a woman's legs, not about what
No,
she
no,
puts on.
no. No. That's unreasonable to think. Men in power in general will concern
It's
themselves with
very
much things
reasonable
in
to think,
politics.
and that's why I
No.
highlighted it.
Men in power concern themselves with everything. That's the reason why they're in power. They don't just
Men in
care about
power
one issue.
consider the baddest women in the game. The one that held him down, he'll forget about her and get the top-notch 3 or 4. That's how men maneuver.
I'm actually so interested in you identifying 5 men in power who either aren't dating white women, who are dating black women, who don't wear lashes, who wear their natural hair out all the time, don't wear wigs ever. I really am curious to see if you could come up with 5.
When he's saying lashes, he's not talking about the natural long lashes. He's talking about the Uber, like windscreen lashes. That's what he's referring to. And he's talking
natural.
about
Natural is no lash.
No. He's talking about if you're wearing it. There's people that wear it. It's like we can see the color difference. We can see whatever it is that's different. But someone mentioned in the chat, men speak and we're not listening. So this is what Kevin's saying. He's a man. So let's take what he's saying as fact. And a lot of men do say that where they don't. What they mean is they want it to look natural. They don't want your natural 4C hair. They just don't want your wig to look like it was extremely imbalanced. That's what it is. They definitely want makeup. Oh, I don't like my girl with makeup. You do. You just don't want the extreme
black girl magic, man. Bring back the afros. Bring back your natural
They're
stuff.
lying
Man.
with that.
Stop
They're
trying to
absolutely
look
lying
like
with that one. But
European girls. Stop wearing the long wavy thing. That's not your thing. Bring back your black girl magic. Bring it back. It's 2025.
Brent, can you put a poll?
So
can you put a poll?
Yo,
I
Kevin,
think there's a lot of men who
a lot of you
who-
man got ED, you know.
Whoa.
All right, so
Brent,
guys.
Brent, can you put a poll? I think there's a lot of men who disagree with Kevin who aren't.
Yeah,
I'd really love to know the data based on the
Except
chat.
Kevin.
Can we just get a poll that says men who agree with Kevin's mind?
All right, guys, you've been muted. Except Kevin. All right, so
a lot of men got ED is wild.
There's somebody else. There's somebody else in the Discord that I want to hear from. Yeah, but Kevin, before we go into that person, I want you to answer the question. Yeah, do you feel as though interracial dating is more so about attraction, or is it about validation, or some combination of both?
It's about going where you're celebrated, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, go where you're celebrated, man. Because that's what it's all about. You don't want listen. There's plenty of people out there, and as we know, black men are the prize. Black men are the most attractive by a poll, by data of dating apps right now than any other race. You lot want to sit there and not listen to us and run your mouth and tear, then fine, we'll just go. It's not like everyone else ain't queuing up. You don't act like we're lacking, or we're like the Asian man is, or we're not down the bottom of the dating
Women are
pool.
queuing up to lay down with you. Nothing else.
I didn't say me. I said us, black men.
Yeah, that's including you, darling. Women ain't doing nothing but queuing up to lay down with black men. Ain't nothing else. What else do they bring?
So therefore, if that's not good enough for you, then fine. Because Stacey will take it. Chrissy will
Why are you
take
bringing
it.
me into it? I'm telling you as a generalization, darling, just the way you're talking as well.
I was just
You
giving
don't
you a
like it.
name. I'm just generalizing.
You don't like it, Mr. Thompson.
I'm just giving you a name. Yeah, like someone else will take it. You don't recognize
Take
the
what?
prize.
Your ED.
All
No,
right,
someone
cool.
recognize
Getting
the
up. What are you
Guys,
prize.
talking about?
let's not make the chat descend into nonsense, innit? Right? Wait, there's somebody else.
As I said,
Yeah,
someone
go on,
else will
Kevin.
they will take the prize. Am I wrong, Ema?
No, I mean it's evident, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? But
you don't want to take the prize, someone else will. You don't want to recognize the beauty in the G in me, don't worry. Because she will.
The other person in the Discord.
What list is? Utral Sak. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Utral Sak?
Oh, it's Isaac. Can you hear me?
Come on.
Yes, big up Isaac.
I've just been like just in the back, just listening. It's a very interesting conversation. I think, to be honest, Kevin, with what you're saying, I don't think you speak for a lot of black men. I feel like with the stuff that you're highlighting, that's an issue. I think it's just a thing of it being done well. You can wear weaves, wigs, eyelashes to whatever degree you want. It's just a thing of doing it well. But I think a lot of the things that you're highlighting are things that you may see that black women do more than other black women. So I might even pose the question of like, is your girl black?
Me, I don't do monogamy, bro. I got three girls that I'm with. One of them's Asian, one of them's black, and one of them's white.
Majority are not black. Next question.
Again, we are the prize.
As well.
This is the mentality thing. Like, we are the prize. And because we are the prize, if you don't want to get in line, then other people will. We restrict ourselves as men based upon this foolish belief that we have to play their game, and we don't. Because we've allowed ourselves to be beaten into this place where we think that we're not the prize. We offer the deal. We work hard. We die early. We're the ones who... the legacy is within us as men. It's about us. It's not about them. You stand next to me. When the king dies, the game's over, bro.
Depends on what culture you're from. Some people come from matriarchal cultures. That's some people in Ghana come from matriarchal culture. So equally,
yeah,
the
look how
woman
successful they are. Look how successful they are.
What do you mean?
What? People from Ghana.
The matriarchal cultures.
They're very successful.
They ain't that successful. They don't run the world, and they never have done.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
this was a man's world. And the head irony is, yeah, a lot of our sisters that claim to be religious or spiritual, but all your books all tell you the same thing. You're here to help us.
What books? No, but I think you don't read widely enough then, because there are some cultures, for example, the Ghanaian Ashanti culture, that is very matriarchal. And equally, you want to marry a good woman, and the woman carries the child's legacy. The child is from where the woman is from. So
No.
The
legacy is the man. What? That's the reason why you give the man the name. And if the Ashanti culture isn't the most successful culture in the world,
surnames are
it's
not
one of the
not all
most
cultures
successful
abide by
cultures in the world.
surnames.
One mic. Let's be fair.
Not all cultures abide by surnames, Kevin.
Let's be fair.
Kevin, sorry, not all cultures.
One mic. You lot are talking over yourselves.
I know. What's
Kevin's
the
on purpose.
Ashanti culture done in the world that we are talking about right now? Who's running the world? Is the Ashanti culture running the world? No, it's not.
But
so
times
matriarchal
change,
cultures don't
change,
run the world. They don't
for
run
now.
the world.
Women run the world.
No, you don't.
I don't know about
You
that.
never have, and you never will.
We do run the
And this is
world.
where
What do
this
men
is
say
the
all the
biggest
time?
problem.
Behind every successful man is a woman. Women run the world. Women uplift the patriarchy. That's why you can speak the way you're speaking so boldly.
I can speak how I'm speaking so boldly because this is how I always speak. The E-man will
Why
vouch for
you
that.
getting emotional? I'm just saying. I'm just
not
saying.
emotional.
Don't get emotional. Okay.
I'm not emotional.
Obviously, we've been talking for a while. Yeah, we do need to wrap up soon. Yeah,
the world.
But Jackie, one sec.
Sorry.
Isaac, have you finished talking?
I think just to rebuttal Kevin's point that was like lost a while ago. Kevin, you're being what's it? Is it polyamory?
Yep.
Yeah. So being of that lifestyle, that's not very conventional. So your takes will not necessarily represent that average man, because that average man that's not their situation.
I understand that. That's only because the average man doesn't think how he should. You have the capability to, like, you have to remember this year, like, we age like wine, they age like milk.
Who, women?
Yeah.
What? Then that's the women that you're around.
Not black women.
No,
Kevin,
that's women
man.
in general, bro. That's just how life works. You understand? Like, as a woman gets older, she can only provide you with so much things in the first place because of this. What you value as a man and what you want in terms of reproduction and having children and building a legacy and building an empire and certain amounts of things matter. So therefore, your position and what your capability to do as a man, what you're meant to be doing as a man, earning your wealth, pushing, building your kingdom. You're not meant to settle down with one woman. It doesn't make sense for you to do that.
I'm assuming your silence when he's talking is you agreeing with everything he's saying, right, Emmanuel?
No, I'm listening.
Well, can I hear some of the pushback, please?
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
you had a lot of pushback for the black women on the panel when they were speaking what they were speaking. So
No,
please
no.
jump in the boat and let's hear some pushback.
Plus, Kevin's talking to Isaac, innit? So I'm listening to them converse.
Man, if you have any points, feel free to jump in.
All right, no, Kevin, continue. And then obviously I'll jump in.
Like I said, we are what we are built to be, bro. And I think that we undervalue ourselves a lot as black men, unfortunately, and as men in general. But times is changing, brother. Yeah? And you can see that when you look around the culture that's being built right now within the internet and all around the world. Men are refinding their power. And we understand that, sometimes when you give someone a lot of freedom, most of the time they just make bad choices. Women are more addicted to drugs, alcohol, and antidepressants and stuff like that, and therapy than ever in any point in history.
So what, Kevin?
And why are men disproportionately killing themselves? Or trigger
Men
warning,
have
sorry.
always killed themselves. And sorry, trigger warning too. I don't want to disrespect the show. But men have always done that, bro. We've always been the highest aggressive when it comes to violence or suicide. We are what we are built to be. And we were suppressed for a long time because they wanted to tax the other half of the population that they weren't taxing. Yeah. So they had to displace the man from the house. They had to displace the man from the leadership role that he has in the structure of what we are as humans.
Kevin,
yeah. But that doesn't mean that it's right.
Kevin, I think to be honest with you, that point that you made about the taxing, I agree with, by the way. I think that's one of the reasons why. I think that's one of the reasons why we have this back and forth about why should we have gender roles now? Because I work, right? I think it was part of a ploy to make people, at least that was the incentive, I think, to increase the tax on the population. But that doesn't mean
it disrupted the house.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Plus, there's been plenty of different things that's done that, right? But that
it takes away the threat of the man.
Yeah.
See, when you do that, because you haven't got your kingdom no more, you're no longer a threat. You can't build your kingdom because you haven't got that support system that is necessary to be able to have your children and your woman in line.
Yeah, all right. Kevin, right, that's a different conversation, isn't it? Right? But the thing that I disagree with, right, is the whole thing you said about the matrilineal families and stuff, innit? We both know back home there was a certain structure in place, because sometimes it implies when you got the matriarch thing, it's just making women the focus. I personally believe that most African cultures, especially the ones that thrived, they deified men, women, and child. You know what I'm saying? It was in different proportions and stuff, but it was never a man is greater than a woman. Yes, we may have had this role where we did X, Y, and Z, but I don't think ancient African cultures ever saw men as more important than the women. You know what I'm saying? Because we saw that none of us could be here if there was no woman. So we did what was necessary, risking our lives to make sure that she had everything that was necessary. You know what I'm saying? So to kind of suggest that the matrilineal or matriarch cultures, right, are kind of backwards or they never ruled, that's not entirely true. You know what I'm saying? One like I think Jackie was pretty much alluding to, one of the biggest fights against the Brits was by the Ashanti culture. And during that particular time, we had Yaya Asantewaa who led. You know what I'm saying? We had Queen Nzinga.
Let me
you know what I'm saying? So
let me clarify when I say that it's for us. What I feel when we had a lot of our cultures, we've always deified both to some extent.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that we didn't understand that we were first.
First, in what capacity, though?
It is what it is. Now, a woman's divinity and I don't undervalue women. Women are amazing and beautiful creatures, but that does not mean that they are equal. They are equal worth, They are not equal. There is a difference.
He
You
is
understand?
correct. Women and men are not equal. And divinity, I agree. I just want to shout out the ladies
Yeah.
in the chat, Maggie, Nikki. E-man, you need to address this. Why was you interrupting me, but you're not interrupting Kevin when he has this kind of
Jeez.
mindset?
So basically, you want part two.
Yes, sir.
Fuck E-man.
Veronica, you know you're my sister, innit? You're my sister. So, but please, let's end on a good note. Because I can continue.
You don't want to answer the question? I thought you'd like to answer questions.
I can dodge. I don't dodge no questions. But if I give you the answer and it's detailed like the first one, they're gonna say I'm bad. I don't want that.
Maggie and Nikki need to know in the chat, and I'm sure the other ladies
They
too.
need to know what.
And some of the fellas.
What's the question?
Why do you always like to interject your melanated self whenever I have something to say? But when Kevin talks, you don't say nothing. You know what it is? I think men should be submissive to each other because you clearly showcase that very well.
You definitely want part two.
I think
you definitely.
They're just.
I'm not gonna do it.
That's my favorite tune. Yeah, got yourself a gun.
On video.
I'm not gonna do it. But the reality is this, yeah. There's been plenty of times I've disagreed with Kevin. Plenty of times.
Today is not one of them.
Huh?
Hey, wait.
No, I literally disagreed with Kevin when he was talking about matrilineal or matriarch cultures. You know what I'm saying?
He-man, you're not.
If you can apply a percentage.
Second.
If you could apply a percentage, what percent of what Kevin said do you agree with versus disagree with?
I to be honest with you, I didn't say it that way. I didn't say it that way. I didn't say it that way. But I do believe, yeah, sometimes we do have a tendency to kind of rubbish everything that Kevin's saying. And I do think sometimes it's because of how he lays it out, the packaging. But the reality is, like I said, this is why I agreed with what he said about the whole taxation thing. And I think that's something that a lot of us don't think about. But at the same time, I also disagree with the fact that you kind of see it as, okay, cool, men and women are not equal. You know what I'm saying? We are definitely equal, but we're equal in different ways. But I also think that's just down to how he communicated it. This is the reason why he also said we're equal worth. So to me, it's kind of, and Brent says this to me all the time, that it's like, I can just understand what the person's saying, even though the person didn't say it. So this is the reason why sometimes I'm quiet, because I'm listening, number one. But number two, I don't feel the need to interrupt certain times because I understand that what they're saying, even though they didn't articulate it in the way maybe would have been best. You know what I'm saying? But I don't agree with anything that anybody says.
No, I'm provoking.
Everything.
I'm provoking. I'm honest. I say it, but I say it because it's true. I don't see the need to sugarcoat it.
I give you credit when I think that you're right. So I'm not gonna sit under the wing that I immediately take everything Kevin says and throws it in the bin. When he says something that's correct, I give him his props. But even if today he spoke like as soft as toying, I'm sorry. I can't see how you agree with so much of it that your first thought was to point out the one thing that you disagreed with. I mean, the one thing you pointed out, just something small that you agreed with.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, a lot of the stuff that Kevin was saying, you guys was just going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just listening to you guys talk. But, like, you're acting as though I have to kind of correct every single thing that somebody says. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But sometimes, a lot of the time, you may see it as correction. I'm kind of just asking a question. To be like, okay, cool, have you seen it from this angle? I don't think I've disagreed with anything you said today, Stacey. Have I?
Yo,
the mere fact that you agreed with Kevin is disagreeing with what I said, but it's okay.
I didn't disagree with anything that Stacey said.
You don't have to agree with everything that I say. Maybe that's a misunderstanding. I would like, even though yes, it is your job to host and ask the questions for us to engage in conversation. Yeah. I was asking you if you could put a percentage on your opinion, in your opinion, what you agreed with and disagreed with. And to me, it just feels like whatever you agree with is not politically correct. So therefore, you hide under the guise that I cannot come up with a number. But it's it's not. Why can't y'all just be strong and wrong? I would respect the one thing that I give Kevin respect for is if he's gonna be wrong, he's gonna be 10 toes. He's gonna fight that wrong till death. I'll give him that.
I hear.
Oh, I'm
that.
gonna die on that hill.
Say your opinion.
No, but Stacey, I hear that, and sometimes when people say that, I really don't get it because I've been talking on the show for 2 years, and I've said things that nobody in this room agrees with. I've stood on that hill alone. Everyone in the chat against me.
Brother, you have.
I'm scared of nobody. Please believe me. So when I'm saying what I'm saying, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes just listening. I like to listen. This is the reason why I say people should take on critical thinking. You can't critically think if you don't listen.
Oh, here we go.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's facts. It's facts.
Critical thinking.
No, you don't brought me back there, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm only saying that just to say that sometimes
We need a t-shirt that says
quiet, that. I'm just saying that because just to say that sometimes when I'm quiet, it's because I'm actually listening to what you guys are saying. That's all. Doesn't mean I agree. If you notice, no matter what somebody says, a lot of the time I'm just nodding because I'm taking it in.
To be clear,
I'm taking it in.
I'm not slandering you. I'm not attacking you.
I know. I don't.
You know how I get that. I'm just a little disappointed. That's all.
So basically, you want me and Kevin to have a back and forth one day?
No, I want you to state your opinion, whether it's for me or against me. I'm genuinely curious as to. Remember, one thing that I really do appreciate about, especially when we have the dialogue in the live chat and the dialogue in the Discord, is that even in the way I ask my questions, I'm genuinely curious to know how men are thinking. I don't want to exist in the echo chamber of what I think or the echo chamber of what the women I surround myself think or women in general think.
I'm tell you that you don't listen.
No, let's. Yeah. I'm genuinely curious. The way Kevin is saying that all men, you're telling us, but we don't listen. I'm curious to think, okay, not that I want to listen, but is it for real that y'all all think like this? I would hope the answer is no. But I'm curious as someone who I take you to be very level-headed, E-Man. So I'm curious to know if you digested all of that, you listened to all of that, and you found yourself agreeing more than disagreeing. That's all.
No, but the thing is,
Stacey says they all think like this. They all think like this.
E-Man, you're just gonna let me be fair.
What's that?
I'm gonna say something that's real fair. E-Man believes in polygamy, right, my brother?
Yeah, polygyny. Yeah, I believe it's a very effective tool.
But you're in a married monogamous relationship, correct?
Yeah.
But therefore, that is the way it is. And this is the beauty of what I said to you earlier, that sometimes just because we want something doesn't mean we always get to have it.
No, but it doesn't mean
it's always implementable.
Yeah,
you understand me? So, and for most men, that's their reality. Most men would want to wake up with 10 wives, but we can't.
No, but that's not true though, Kevin. You see now you guys.
I agree. He's right. I think that benefits everybody when
don't
he has multiple wives.
Don't conflate wives with people you want to sleep with.
You can have him today. He's turning me off.
Don't conflate wives with people you want to sleep with. When I've spoken about polygyny, I've always spoken about it in the context of something that is productive. If it's not productive, I don't want it. I don't care for it. I'm talking about stuff that edifies the community. I know many people don't believe my values as it pertains to that, but that's fine. But my heart is in the place where I believe it can help, right?
But if you could have that, you would, right?
It depends, though. It literally depends. So
if you could have it productively, see how you just said how you would have it your way, productive, the way you want it, you would have it, right?
Yeah, but then I could say that about anything, though, right? I could say that about any situation where everything falls in line the way that will make it perfect. You know,
that's my point. Most men desire that. It's just that it's a lot of work and it's not always easy to implement.
Yeah, but you can't use it as an argument though, because like it's like when you said to the women, oh yeah, but most women want people who's 6 foot tall. Yeah, but that's not necessarily the situation. You know what I'm saying? And just because that they may want that doesn't make them bad for wanting it. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to do certain things to pursue it. Like everyone is different.
I don't think that it's bad that you want it. That's my point. My point is exactly that.
Yeah,
is that just because your belief may be one way, that doesn't mean that you can implement it easily. And most men's existence is that. Most men want more than what's on the table, and we sign bad contracts because we have to.
Yeah, but Kevin, I'm also saying...
I'm not saying yours is a bad contract.
Yeah,
but
of course.
But for most men, monogamy is a bad contract. Most men do not desire one woman. No matter how much you love that woman, you didn't go blind. All other women didn't suddenly become unattractive to you. That's not how it works for us. We are not like that.
But Kevin, this is where the issue is. This is why I was talking about productive and it being like a real commitment, marriage and all that sort of stuff. We're not talking about just
Iman, you need to highlight that. You need to agree with him. He's right. Most men do not want to be with one woman for the rest of their lives. Why are you not highlighting that?
Yeah, but what's that got to do with what I'm talking about? Well, what's that got to do with what I'm talking about?
Naturally, men want to be with multiple women. You talk about the animal kingdom as well. That happens in the animal kingdom as well.
Yeah, I agree.
How many of us are penguins?
Veronica.
Those are the only ones that are monogamous.
Veronica, I understand. But what's that got to do with what I'm talking about? I'm talking about something that is practiced to be productive. Remember, we are animals, but the difference between us and them is we have order.
That's why we do polygamy. That's why there's polygamy relationships, because a man cannot be with one woman.
It can't.
I don't even know what's going on there. Like, you lot
Anyway,
are crazy.
Brent, what's the status of the poll so we can close this out? What's the status of the poll?
The question was men only, and I know for a fact that wasn't observed. Do you agree with Kevin's views on women? 41% say Kevin is 100% right, and 59% say Kevin is not speaking for me. So it's very close.
Oh.
Very
close.
It's interesting to know the percentage of men and women in the chat, innit? It sounds like some women would have voted for Kevin.
Maybe we should put this chat in the Discord so the votes are not anonymous.
Before we end it, earlier Kevin did state that women are very emotional, and yes, we are. The reason why men lie and say, "Oh, not all of us," is because he's threatened of losing access to their punane. Because women are still delusional to think that a guy can be monogamous when naturally a male is not monogamous.
Exactly. And most men can't be honest. They just can't be. They can't say, nah, you know what, babe, I do love you, but I want to go over here real quick because I'm a bit bored. It's been the same coochie for the last month, 6 months, 5 years, 10 years. You're like, man, do less years for murder. Allow it.
You know, the thing is, yeah, like, I hear what you guys are saying, innit? And I've stressed it myself, obviously, to even prove my own points, right? Nature is what it is. I think a lot of the things in life where we go wrong is because we don't observe and align with what is clearly in nature. But again, the reason why we're different to the animals is, even though we are animals, is that we have order. We have laws. We have
Y'all
structure.
want to be Fido so bad.
We have all the things that we have decided over millennia to say this is a good thing, this is a bad thing. Why? Because of what it yields. It has to be productive. I say what I'm saying because I believe it's productive. If I believed it would cease being productive, I would immediately say it is nonsense, even though nature shows something else. That's the reason why we have progressed. That's the reason why we've progressed further. So when we're talking about, most men would want this, yeah. One sec, yeah. Most men would want that. That's irrelevant. Yes, it may be the case, but is that productive? You know what I'm saying? Most women would want certain things. Most of us would want to just wake up and not do a thing. But obviously, besides the fact that our bodies will just atrophy, right? Like mentally and all the other things demands that we get up and do something. You know what I'm saying? There's something about this thing that we call life. If it doesn't yield a positive thing, or at least more positive than negatives, what's the point in doing it? You know what I'm saying? So we can't just say it's because of this, that's to this. You know what I'm saying?
So, but E-Man,
yeah,
you believe in polygamy to be more productive?
If the circumstances are correct. Yeah, if the circumstances, not all the time. Not all the time.
So why are you doing it?
The circumstances have to be correct. So
all right. So that was what my point was.
No, but what I'm saying is I can't just blanket statement and say, oh, this is the best thing for us. I'm saying it's a remedy to a lot of the ills in our community. That's always been my stance. I'm saying, why is it that we're so quick to say that this particular practice that a lot of us kind of subscribe to or are familiar with because of our faiths, Islam, for example, and also our culture back home, why are we so quick to throw it away? If it can potentially heal and bring families together, if it can allow children to have fathers around, if it can lighten the burden on a lot of women who are doing certain things by themselves, if a lot of women can have the dream of actually being married, because unfortunately, so many of our women will never be married. That's what I'm talking about. If it yielded nothing
and add
productive.
to that we're the prize. Add to that we're the prize.
Just for context in this conversation,
Yeah.
Iman, in this community in the West, how would polyamory or being polygamous be productive? Are you, and not to put words in your mouth, but are you speaking of when there's a situation with a man that has multiple baby mamas, quote unquote? Are you saying they should all get together, get married, and be and that be a productive situation,
I'm
how would that translate?
I'm basically saying, yeah, and obviously not to cut the conversation too short, yeah, but obviously we do have to wrap up, guys, yeah. But ultimately, I'm basically talking about the structure of the Black community. I believe that every community thrives, or at least the correlation between a community thriving can be seen in how well the families are put together. And I believe that a lot of the issues in the Black community is because we don't have strong families. That's just my personal belief. I believe that one of the reasons why we're disproportionately affected by certain ills in society is because there's no fathers around. And because of that, that's led to single parent households. That's led to women carrying burdens they should never have to carry alone. That's led to our children being more likely to go to university but not finish. That's led to our children being more likely to be homeless. That's led to our children more likely to go to prison. All of these things that all of us do not like. And the reason why I'm saying that is, I'm saying this also, right, is that when you've got a household, potentially, like it would have been back home, like it's also in Islam, right? If there's a household that can accommodate someone, again, I don't want to go over this. I've been doing it for like 2 years now, right? But if there's a household that can accommodate and bring structure,
say men of the prize, bro.
wait, that can lighten the load, for example. If those things are are possible, I'm saying that is a productive thing. Because what is the point in it being otherwise? Am I saying that we should not focus on the fact that Black men are running away from their responsibilities? No, I'm not saying that. I said this earlier in the show. Or was it yesterday? When I said a lot of us men are doing certain things and we're just leaving our responsibilities. I hate it. We need to be there. We need to find ways to be in the home. And if you can't be in the home, to make sure you manage your children from beginning to end. Because that is the reason, personally, the number one reason, right, that a lot of our families are dysfunctional. That's the reason why we go up having stupid, unproductive conversations. Because a lot of the time, we don't even have a man to show us certain things. The men don't know how to be men. Come out all somehow, right? The women don't know how to be women because they're not seeing their mothers be feminine or be women to a man in the house. You know what I'm saying?
To my Black
There's
brother.
So many different things.
Sorry.
1 second.
I gotta go. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Okay, thank you for calling up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Take care, everyone.
Appreciate
See ya. Bye.
I do have one question for
So
Kevin.
Stacey, so just to wrap up quickly, yeah, because of time, yeah, all I'm basically saying is, back in the day, in the religions that we subscribe to, in the cultures that we subscribe to, a lot of the time these were things that we lived by, and I'm saying that some of these things can heal a lot of the you know what I mean, cover up the holes and heal a lot of the broken things in our community. I'm not saying this for everyone, because I believe if the wrong people do it, it's worse. That's what I believe also. But I'm saying there's some people who can. And I believe the some can heal situations. And if you don't believe me, look at people in those communities who are doing it. That's what I'm saying to you.
Well, agreed. I agreed in that sense. But I think a lot of people don't take the opportunity to make the choices from the beginning.
Yeah.
They don't sit back and say, okay, I do want polyamory, and therefore this is my intention going into dating.
Yeah.
They just end up impregnating multiple women. And I think at that point, if we're wanting it to be productive, that's when we should now say, if you have done this, then it's probably best for you to curtail that and then be polyamorous with all these women and maybe have the responsibility and be more responsible for what you have, the seed that you have sown, basically. But I'm sorry, not to take us back. I had one question for Kevin, just for context for me personally. What do you mean by when you say kingdom? Like, what does that mean to you in this day and age?
Yeah, so nowadays it is hard for a man to establish a kingdom in the modern days, settings of the world. But you still can. It's still there. So women are meant to join. You're meant to have as many kids as you can as a man, but you're meant to build businesses within your structure of your kingdom for your family. So, for example, 2 out of my 3 women that I'm with work for me. Yeah, do you understand? And anyone that comes and joins the team will also work for me. That's the aim. It's always the aim. Because I'm building a kingdom. I'm building a legacy. And you lot are my team.
Admirable. Thank you.
Nice one. All right, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys, man.
Yeah.
We gotta
yo,
move,
bless up
we gotta move
TDA.
on, man.
Now it goes. Come on.
Alright,
Yeah, to the moon, to the moon.
Thank you, everybody on stage.
Yes.
Izzy, Isaac, Kevin, Stacy, Toyin,
Jackie, Saleh,
Christy, Saleh, Veronica, Snowstorm, everybody that chimed in. Obviously, I love this type of participation with the next community service. Stacey's just told us that she's going to have a nice little setup at home, so I could actually plug her in video-wise.
Dope.
Yeah. So she'll be.
Brent, I literally have professional cameras, professional mics. I have all.
Let's do it.
So much podcast equipment is collecting dust in my house. Let's put it to use.
Yes.
All right then.
I love that. Love that.
Anywho, we need to go, man.
All right, people.
Thank you.
Actually, let's do the last headlines for the people.
Well, we have to finish it.
Yes.
What do you mean, let's do it? Yes, sir. Hold up. Let me take that off. And then... can you just read Dr. Mani's thing before you...
Of course. So Dr. Mani has said, agreed, maybe the loving and healthy relationship is the prize that is cultivated by two willing and open people. There you go, man. Nice. Whatever produces a happy household, man, let's do that. Let's do that. We're killing ourselves, man.
All right, let's move on to the last bit of headlines. Let me take that off the screen.
All right, people. So I'm going to give you these headlines and breeze through them. So a car was destroyed by police during a central London bomb scare, and that had reportedly raised suspicions after being left for a week with a charging cable plugged into its dashboard. A wrecked black Audi A1 Sportsback S-Line remains abandoned outside of an upmarket Italian restaurant near Regent Street. So the traffic wardens continue to slap further parking tickets on a £15,000 pound vehicle because it still hasn't been recovered or claimed. And Wednesday's bomb scare sent shoppers into panic after roads and offices were sealed off and a bomb disposal robot arrived to conduct controlled explosions on the new Burlington Street. Big up Ed, he sent me a clip of this actually. Next headline, at least 20 people have been arrested for looting or similar crimes as a new wildfire sweeps through the famed Hollywood Hills, adding to 4 others already raging in LA. I believe yesterday Brent put up a video in the Discord. Guys, join the Discord, man. A lot of stuff happens in the Discord after the show. Unfortunately, at least 5 people have died and hundreds of thousands have been forced to evacuate their homes. Fanned by strong winds, wildfires have swept through LA since Tuesday, turning its star-studded streets into a hellscape and forcing more than 130,000 people to evacuate their neighborhoods. Next headline, and a computer expert's decade-long battle to recover a £600 million Bitcoin fortune he says has been lost in a council dump has been halted by a judge. So James Howells, who's 39, launched a legal case to force Newport City Council to allow him to search the site to retrieve a lost hard drive containing the Bitcoins, worth $600 million. The council sought to strike out the claim and the judge has ruled in its favor. Sitting as a High Court judge, Judge Keza, KC said on Thursday that Howell's claim had no realistic prospect of succeeding if he allowed the case to continue to trial. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's been, 10 years? 10 years, come on, man. The judge said that he accepted the council's argument that it owned the hard drive and Howells was not entitled to try to retrieve it. And he appeared at Cardiff Civil Justice Centre in December, where he was represented by lawyers working pro bono. Our next headline, Keir Starmer has boasted of deporting a record number of refused asylum seekers and overseas criminals since scrapping the Rwanda scheme, using language that has dismayed human rights campaigners. I would love to know what side our community is on, with this particular topic. The Home Office said on Thursday that it had returned more than 16,400 immigration offenders and foreign criminals since the election in July, which is the highest 6-month total since 2018. So Labour has been active, man. They've been getting the job done. The department said in a statement that enforced returns were up 24% compared to the previous 12 months. Since July, 2,580 of those removed had been convicted criminals from overseas, which is a 23% increase on last year. This headline, Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, sparked concern when he attended Tuesday's inauguration of Ghana's President John Mahama with a holstered pistol at his waist. Some have described this unusual move as a breach of security protocol. Others have seen it as a lack of trust in the ability of Ghanaian officials to protect the Burkinabe junta chief. It's not clear if Traore had permission to carry the weapon, and the new Ghanaian government has not responded to a BBC request for a comment. It's none of the damn BBC's business. Mahama was sworn in after beating the candidate from the governing party, Bawumia, by a large margin in last month's election, which obviously we spoke about. But for those who don't know, Traore was one of the 17 heads of state present, and his visit came at a time of diplomatic tension in West Africa. Burkina Faso, along with two other military-led states, Mali and Niger, has broken away from the regional bloc, ECOWAS, to form a new alliance. I fully agree with you. I like this guy. I like him, and I like the leaders of Mali and Niger and Senegal. Do not trust the people in Ghana. And when I say that, I don't mean because they're Ghanaian. Do not trust those people who are basically part of ECOWAS. Those people still are going to prioritize, I don't know, the agendas of the West. Do not trust them. Keep that gun close. All that will happen is these people murder you and people come out and say sorry and cry. None of that will do anything. Last headline, renowned Nigerian gospel artist and pastor Nathaniel Bassey. Have you ever heard of him before, Brent?
Yes.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. I never heard of him either. But anyway, he's been invited to minister at the U.S. presidential inaugural prayer breakfast on January 20th in Washington, D.C. The event, which is a non-political, faith-based gathering hosted by Reverend Mary Turner, will precede the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. Set to take place in the Waldorf Astoria Presidential Ballroom, the breakfast will feature notable speakers, including Dr. Alveda King, Pastor Mario Bramnick, and Bassey, who was celebrated for his global worship initiative, the Hallelujah Challenge. He joins the lineup as a key figure in inspiring spiritual renewal. And that's it for the headlines. Time to pay them bills, Brent.
All right, then.
Let's go into our wrap up.
Yep.
All right, people. It's been an eventful show. Appreciate you guys. You know what? The TDA guests, the TDA listeners, you guys are the hosts as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's me and Brent here, plus all you guys in the chat, plus you guys especially in the Discord. So we appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody like and subscribe. We're on the road.
Yeah.
We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. Let's get the ASAP, man. You know what I'm saying?
ASAP.
And yeah, man, today was a good show, man. Today we spoke about Liz Truss and how she's a waste man, you know. She sent a cease and desist letter to Sir Keir Starmer over claims that she crashed the economy, which she did very well. Also, we spoke about Jeremy Hunt, who's apologized to Lucy Letby's victims' families. Big him up for doing so, because there was another Tory minister who's talking about how there needs to be a retrial. Absolutely insane. We spoke about the funeral of Jimmy Carter, the president who passed away at the age of 100. And of course, for topic of the day, which was the bulk of the show, we spoke about whether there's an uncomfortable truth about interracial dating preferences. Are they fueled by attraction, or is it validation, or some combination of both, or none? And obviously, we appreciate you guys for calling up and contributing to the conversation. We also spoke about the car that was blown up by police in a bomb scare near Regent Street. Stay woke, guys. Be careful. Be vigilant out here, man. And also, by the way, it wasn't a real bomb, by the way. It was just a bomb scare. Also, we spoke about the 20 people that were arrested for looting or similar acts in LA during the wildfires. And also, we spoke about the judge who said no to the guy who wants to look in Newport City Council's vineyard, basically, for his Bitcoin wallet, which is worth £600 million. We also spoke about the Home Office and how Keir Starmer has boasted of deporting a record number of asylum seekers and overseas criminals. He's basically come in, and within 6-7 months, he's done what the Tories could not do in this particular area. Are you guys happy with that? Also, we spoke about the so-called gun-wearing leader and how it sparked concern in Ghana. Big up Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore. I just pray that the guy continues to thrive over there, man. And also, we spoke about Nathaniel Bassey, who's going to be ministering at the U.S. inaugural prayer breakfast on the 20th of January. Once again, appreciate you guys for tuning in. For those who've been here for the first time, we're here every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And yeah, man, like, subscribe. Brent, what do you want to talk to the people about?
Everybody on TikTok, welcome. We are over on YouTube, and we have a whole live chat community over there. That's where the real action pops off. So you have been introduced to us via TikTok, but come through and make yourself at home on YouTube.
Yes.
And we will be back on Monday.
Yeah, man. Have a blessed weekend, people.
Yes.
Stay positive, man.
We got a lot of work to do, and it will all be to your benefit.
For sure.
Soon come. All right, bye, everybody.
Peace.
Boom.